Alright, we're good.
Be like,
Bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
Welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys, fellas. Episode 299.
299.
If you're unfamiliar with our show, we are the boys, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan. Before we get anywhere, we know there's going to be a lot of returning viewers. We've had a lot of returning viewership as of recent.
Lots of returning
We
viewers.
are north of 50% unsubscribed. So if you're watching and you're for the boys, you want to support the show, consider subscribing. Consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, sharing with your friends. We have on a very special guest, Adam Ray. He will be our interview later in this episode. Before we get into all that, we do have a little intro where we talk ball, we talk NFL, we talk college. The boys are very much down bad after this weekend, other than JP. He won a big one. Jack, he won one with Tennessee, but also lost one with Tennessee. Listen, had a prosperous
Double-edged
weekend.
sword.
Had a great weekend on the DraftKings Sportsbook with my bets. I will go over those here in a second. But this episode, let's hit an ad read. The roller coaster of an NFL season is moving right along, and it promises to be a month of full tricks, treats, and of course, touchdowns. In the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the number one place to bet touchdowns. Running it in from the 1 or an 80-yard bomb. We don't care how they score touchdowns. We want to bet on them. DraftKings heard us and is delivering. And if you're ready to make your first bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. When you bet $5, you will instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BUS. That is code BUS for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
What a deal, huh?
Great deal.
Opportunities
Great deal.
everywhere.
And they always have promos going. Like you get a 50% profit boost.
Bing.
Parlay boost.
Yes.
You get all the above.
Just when you think you might be dead, they just give you an opportunity to succeed. That's what DraftKings is. They say the crown is yours. The opportunity is also yours.
Ooh,
That's what DraftKings has.
Yeah.
And I loved your little. We're north. We're still north
of 50% every week. The boy JP will hit a breakdown. Mitch, Sherm, they hit breakdowns with their numbers and everything else. They talk about how many returning viewers we have, and we're still like north of 50% unsubscribed.
Yeah,
but it's a bunch of the boys.
A bunch of the boys, and a lot of returning viewers coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big surplus of people came in after 45. They want to see what the boys are really talking about the next week.
Yeah.
And now, if this is your second time ever viewing the show, that's fine. We had a first date. It was good enough for you to have another one. We walked you to the door. We gave you a kiss on the cheek. I like to think that we're gentlemen on this podcast.
Yeah, your parents would be proud.
Right. Now, if we're in the 4th, 5th, or even 6th time of you coming in and viewing this podcast, let us inside. You know? let us inside. Let's have some tea, some coffee, whatever, a little nightcap, if you will. And then let's find out how clean those sheets are. And maybe if we're willing to, the two of us can jump in and dirty those sheets up a little bit. Now, is it a regret? Probably not, because this is the 4th or the 6th time. You know the kind of guys we are.
This is going to be forever.
This is going to be forever. It could absolutely be forever. And if it's not, we're going to make a mistake together. Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about this opportunity of us subscribing and not subscribing. It's an amazing time. Also, not so amazing. Seemed like there was a sniper on the field, on every NFL field this weekend. It seems like guys left and right were getting got by the turf monster.
Yeah.
People were getting Chris Kyle all over the place. One specifically that comes to mind, Deshaun Watson.
I know.
And I know we've had some fun on this podcast, and I know that part of my take had a phenomenal take on we think Deshaun Watson is actually a better person than he is a football player now, implying how bad he is at football. Yeah. But I saw a clip, and I don't even know if this is real, and I want to believe that it's not real. But when he's getting carted off crying and the Browns fans are actually chanting, "You deserved it." Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I know that they were
That's fake.
That's fake.
Is that fake? Good.
Okay,
I'm glad it was debunked by you, Mitch. That's big brain. We talked about it in the car ride home from Knoxville. Big head. People probably think you're successful. That's a nice move right there. Yeah, because I was gonna say that would be one of the more disgusting things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you never want
football.
to. You never want to root for somebody to get injured,
Ever.
and they're getting carted off. You know that everything that's happened with Deshaun, everybody's aware of it. But to know, like, you listen to Jameis talk about it, you listen to Myles Garrett talk about it, and you just hear players that talk about how he showed up day to day and was pouring into being a better football player. Whether or not that was working out, we obviously know he was not playing his best ball, or he hasn't played his best ball since Houston. You never want to cheer on somebody like having a bad injury. Never,
man. And it was cool. I think it sheds a little light on the fact that Jameis Winston's talking that way, and especially Myles Garrett talking that way, him being as like one of the biggest players in that franchise, if not in the franchise's history, being that much of a guy. Because we all know that if Myles Garrett walked up to, somebody in that front office was like, this guy's got to go, that holds a lot more value and a lot more weight than 99% of the league.
Right.
Now, for these guys to stand 10 toes down in front of a bunch of journalists and be able to say, hey, this guy actually put in the work, we love him, we respect him, those types of things, talks about the individual he is, I think that says a lot. Maybe we need to evaluate that a little bit more. I'm not going to say forgive the man, or not going to do that, because once you have the 31, 36 to 30 whatever allegations, it's tough coming back from that, no doubt about it. But human beings are human beings, and it's always difficult to see people get hurt.
I think the biggest surprise too is Jameis not even dressed for the game. Like, the moment you need a backup quarterback to go in, like he's apparently like third on the depth chart, which is surprising to me.
Wow.
Because I feel like if anybody's going to give him a spark and give him some juice outside of Nick Chubb, it's going to be somebody like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, eating W's. The guy. The football needs guys like Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
It's so interesting, his relationship. You see it with Vrabel. You see the way he bounces around. People love Jameis Winston. You met him.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had the opportunity to be in the same room as
Incredible
this individual,
soul.
But it just sounds like this guy is truly, genuinely exactly what you see on a day-to-day basis when you pop on the bird and are able to see him doing his speeches and everything. That's really him.
Yeah. Sources have told me.
Now you know how that's worked out for me.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. This isn't a knock on his play, but sources have told me that Stefanski doesn't mess with him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. It just, to me, that would be surprising, because again, if you want some juice, like, you just know players, whether they laugh with him, laugh at him, whatever it is, he brings some juice to a team, and he'll spin it. Like, if they need some life, they need somebody who can throw the ball deep, somebody who's just willing to let it rip, whether or not he's going to throw an interception or a touchdown. Like, I feel like Jameis could be somebody that, you would hope turn some things around, because it is very bleak right now in Cleveland.
I know, but Cleveland is probably, 30, 31, or 32 of the fan bases you wouldn't want to be a part of right now.
Yeah.
That's one of those. One fan base that was probably shitting themselves for a little bit, the Washington Commanders, were shitting their pants when Jaden Daniels went down.
Yeah, bro.
Now,
what is his injury?
Who pops in?
I thought it was like a rib or something.
A rib?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had a pretty he had a tackle. When I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, oh man, I'm surprised he didn't get a little banged up from that play. But come to find out, he was trying to run. He was trying to run later in that drive, and he just kind of went down. And you're kind of thinking, oh fuck, like, hopefully he didn't do anything bad.
Right. And ribs hurt. We've all had a rib before. We've all had a rib at a place. We've had cartilage. I don't know. Have you ever had a broken rib?
Not a broken one.
Yeah, I haven't had the luxury or the pleasure of having a broken rib in my entire life, but I have had that little, when the cartilage is out, when it's like a bruised rib.
Any cough, any laugh, anything that's going on,
even
any quick move.
Sigh.
Yeah.
You hear Mitch sigh 4 times an episode in these podcasts. You all 4 times, if you had a bruised rib, you're literally thinking to yourself, God, I might have to end it right here. I don't know if breathing is truly worth this pain.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's going to be all right. The reason why I brought up that injury, though, is a very familiar and beautiful face steps on the field, hiding as a number 1A, but we truly know that is number 8. Marcus Mariota. Let's give a round of applause for the man coming in and absolutely
next man up mentality,
slaying the game. True fashion off the field too. Got his ball cap on, showing zero excitement about the poetry he just put on the field.
Yeah,
just absolutely crushed it. This is the guy, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody all over the world's always like, oh yeah, but this person's a bad role model. That person's a bad role model. Who are we gonna look up to? Who's the person? Marcus Mariota is a guy that is truly a dude's dude and is a good human being.
Grays.
I know, man.
He's getting
gray. He looked like Obama after a second term. You ever see that back and forth they showed before, and then 8 years after, he's getting the grays in there. Skin still looks great though. Marcus, you're doing a great job. Lot of wisdom. Seen a lot of things. A lot of bullets been flying around that head. Look at this.
Yeah, and then poor old shout out the boy JP Finlay.
Who's that?
He's a reporter. He's somebody who covers Washington. He starts off because Marcus starts off like he doesn't hit one. I think he starts off like 0 for 3. And JP like has a tweet, and obviously it turns around. He has 0 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 200+ yards. Just a massive shout out to Marcus, man. Washington is a team, bro. Washington is
a ball
team.
club.
Yeah.
And you were saying their back end, that's the issue, or their run defense? Their defense is the problem, correct?
Defense is the issue. Defense is that's going to be the side of the ball that has to figure it out if they want to be true contenders in the playoffs. But man, offensively, like they are rolling, bro. They're excited out there in the district. That city has just been begging, needing a team, and they have one. And they have one, obviously, with Jaden Daniels. I know he's going to be all right. But even Marcus coming in, knowing that there was no let up, there was no foot off the gas, they were able to execute offensively even with Marcus back there.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what you want to see, man.
God, that fires me up so much.
The exact tweet, Mariota's 0 for 3 since coming in. He can't be the answer.
Yeah, Mariota is 0 for 3 since coming in. He cannot be the answer.
And
shout out JP. I love JP.
Now, I did text Marcus. I'm more speaking to Jack in this sense. I texted Marcus last night, congratulated him on his play, and I said, I think it's time.
Come back?
I think it's time for you to come back.
It is time. We need him more than ever.
He put an exclamation point on the text.
Did he really?
No, but he actually put a couple of ha's. He put a couple
He's
of
in a much better situation out there in Washington.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah,
Cliff Kingsbury's the guy for him right now, right?
And then you see all this stuff like Buck Rising. He's been doing a really good job of just being on point with journalism lately. But Traylon Burks and A.J. Brown, how many yards and receptions
that
Traylon has had since the A.J. Brown trade, and how many TDs. I think it's 1 TD to A.J.'s 20. And then also you have the Derrick Henry situation, which was always going to happen. Derrick was with us for 8-9 years. So, but it's sad. You know, you see the Derrick Henrys, the A.J. Browns, the Marcus Mariotas of the world all having fun on Sundays. We're not having fun in Nashville. We're not having fun.
we're not having a good time.
No.
Now, did you expect the Bills game to go the way it did? I mean, at one point, 10-7, right? Boys are looking good. We're thinking, oh my God.
And
10-0. I was going to say, they started off, it was 10-0.
But to see that game and being a 10-0 or 10-7 whenever I saw it, I was like, this is exactly what the Titans are going to do. The Titans are going to win this game.
They're those kind of games where we win the ones we should not. And so there was kind of that little glimmer of hope in that first half. Where like, maybe we'll do it. And then the second half was the most. I think there was like 15 total yards of offense through the third quarter, and then like 10 minutes into the fourth. So, or maybe it was like 5 minutes into the fourth. But regardless, 15 yards of total offense, brutal. And you can't. Playing in Buffalo, no matter what time of day, prime time, noon, it's going to be tough. And yeah, Titans got whooped. Just a good old fashioned whooping. And we just kind of look sad.
It's like, not good.
Boys look sad. Boys aren't having a good time. Listen, being in a locker room like that, have you been in a locker room 1-5?
Yeah, Washington was pretty bad the very first year, yeah.
You sit in those locker rooms where you just really can't find an answer, because at first a couple losses start rolling on you. You think to yourself, okay, if we fix X, Y, and Z, you kind of see the path for correction. When you're 1-5 and then you have 15 yards of offense in the second half, and then you look around at the roster that this team has, you really think to yourself, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, what is the answer? Because talent is not the problem, or at least it seems that way with just look at the offense. It's incredible. And then Jamal Adams, he's asking for a trade. Guys are wanting to get out of there. You see Calvin Ridley, he's getting pissed off last week. DeAndre Hopkins is being like, we're just doing what we're told out here. These are the types of things that are just like, holy shit, man. It is absolutely brutal.
The locker room's not good.
Like, what week as a player on a bad team are y'all like, all right, that's the year. Let's just try to not get hurt. Let me get my money, and then let's get out of here.
If you're like just seeing some of the like post-game pressers, like you see DeAndre talk, you see Calvin when he was speaking even last week talking about he wants more targets early and everything like that.
Shit, I need the ball early.
It's now. It's around now.
I
think
7?
So, man. I think so. To me, it's like another team that's not playing well, that might not turn it around. Who knows? But you go out to the Jets They made a trade with Devontae. Like, you still have a quarterback, you still have receivers, you still have people that's optimistic that think like, okay, something's gonna turn for us. You know, we just got to make a few plays. Yada. It just does not feel that way with Tennessee.
Yeah, I
and the ear's been to the ground. It just does not sound like the locker room is doing that. You know, it just doesn't seem like the culture is going to be sticking and staying together.
It sounds like the locker room is more dysfunctional than ever. I had the luxury when we went the 2-14, 3-13 of being just a young buck, a rookie, and then a second-year guy. And at that point, bullets are still flying over and over. You're trying to make the name for yourself. So that never crossed my mind personally.
Right.
Of being like, let's pack it in. Let's get ready to go to Cabo. But these guys that are paid, these guys that have spent a long time in the league, understanding that, okay, I know I have less years ahead of me than I do behind me. I got to go and win now. And if you're 1-5, that's probably exactly where their minds are at.
And if your ego is also telling you, you know, you're not the problem. You know what I
right,
mean?
which is a horrible feeling.
And it sounds like they didn't know Mason was going to be the starting quarterback until late in the week. Just based on
Yeah, we found out. They announced it Saturday during the Tennessee-Alabama game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I want to
guys,
say, like,
locker
Hop was
room.
kind of confirming it when a reporter, might have been Paul, somebody asked him, like, when did you find out that Mason was going to be the starting quarterback? So, again, it doesn't feel good. It really doesn't.
Yeah, that's such a tough situation to be in. And it's really like, now at this point in the season, if you're 1-5, you go in the next game and you get injured, that's the only way it can get worse. Now you got to spend the whole offseason rehabbing with that sour taste in your mouth.
You're going to see guys with like a grade 1 ankle, and you're not going to see their face again.
Yeah.
Because guys are going to check out.
I mean, if you're an older player, it's kind of like, maybe I can play one more year.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing people make business decisions. And unfortunately, it's like the unfortunate nature of the beast, man. Because I'm not trying to say it like trying to make it sound like it's the locker room is really bad, everybody's ready to quit. I'm just from experience, like Taylor was saying, like being a younger cat and a guy that was never had the luxury of feeling like, you know, you have to earn it every week. Like I'm still playing for next year. I'm playing for beyond. You're still going to have those guys doing that, but these guys who are made men, who have the skill set of thinking ahead and being like, all right, it's not going to happen for me this year. It might have the mentality of like, let me save myself for next year. Like that is what happens. That's part of like the business of the game. And I feel like the Titans are in that situation because clearly they benched Will to go with Mason Rudolph.
He had a back. Well, I saw there was like an injury report. He had a back or a groin or something going on.
Yeah, some injury. I don't know.
But I don't know. And this very well could have been an insurance policy being like, hey, let's just see what we got in Mason. Maybe the injury wasn't that bad. Now that's just all speculation. Shoulder. He had a shoulder going on, which you knew he was dealing with. So that kind of takes away everything I just said. But yeah, go on. Onward.
Well, I was going to ask, like, when you're Coach Callahan right now and you're thinking, fuck, what do you have to do to keep the locker room? How do you just...
I don't know. Because I like Callahan. I think the staff that they have, like they have a good staff.
Great staff.
This isn't a staff that should be like on the hot seat by any means. I just feel like they missed this year, right?
Yeah.
Like they haven't found their answer at quarterback. It hasn't worked out well. Your skill players are obviously seem visibly like checked out, which is never the spot you want to be in when you need guys like that to play. But if those guys aren't believing in who's under center, I don't know. I don't know what you do. Like obviously every week is like a new week, a different challenge. They have a tough schedule on the backside, don't they?
It's the NFL.
We still have to
All of it's
play
hard.
Houston, Jacksonville. Like we've only played one division.
I want to say somebody's like maybe you get one against the Patriots and then split with Jacksonville, but other than that, you're playing like a bunch of one-loss teams. Like you just know the player in you. You look at all that stuff too. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Because in years past, when things were not going well, there was always the ability to be like, okay, quarterback's not playing well. What we need to do is rely on the run game, rely on Derrick Henry, a guy that we're going to give the ball 20, 30 times a game and allow him to just bruise people up, and then we'll find the passes where we can. I don't know what the answer is because there's so much talent on that team. Across the board on the offense, you have one of the probably more talented teams in all of the NFL. The issue is you see the frustration with Ridley. You see the frustration with Hopkins. You know that frustration a lot of ways is directed at the quarterback, not only in the locker room, but also in the public eye. It's such a hard position to be in because those guys are these seasoned vets with a lot of accolades that everyone knows is in that top tier of the NFL. And if those guys are kind of having that response publicly, you can only imagine what it's going to be like in the locker room, which is it's difficult to keep a locker room together when these kind of quotes are being brought out. And that's just hard, man.
And
It's hard.
one thing
you need somebody to right the ship. You need somebody to keep guys together. I don't know who that guy is in that locker room right now.
It's like blocking out all the noise. Like one thing that Vrabel always did a very good job of is even when you are feeling all this stuff and you're kind of feeling a little like, yo, what's going to happen here? Vrabel was always somebody who painted the way you're going to win the game. Here's how we're going to have to win. Like, we're not good enough to just show up, do this. We're going to have to execute at these three things on both sides of the ball and paint that picture. And obviously push all the confidence into whoever's going to be under center, whether it's Will, whether it's Mason. And then you need a win on first down. You need a win, like get those wins early to have some momentum. And then from there, you're truly taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
But oh yeah. And I mean, unless you're, you know, like Jack fans and everybody else, people are going to be looking to the draft and all that. But when you're in the locker room and you're inside of those four walls, like I don't think anybody's going to be thinking about
especially
the draft.
as a player.
How you scraping together wins, how you scraping together momentum to kind of turn it around. Because again, at the end of the day, you're 1-5, like you're not out of it, right? Like you got to win out, you got to do all those things. That seems like it's the farthest thing apart from all of it. It's truly just going one day at a time and doing your best to keep everybody together. And again, without any pulse being inside of there, I just don't know where everybody is. That's just my sense on observing all the post-game pressers, all the conversations around the Titans right now.
Yeah, I don't think as a player, and Will, you can comment on this too, I don't remember ever looking and being like, can't wait for the draft.
Yeah,
there was never
thinking about that.
You're 1-5 right now. You're not even at the halfway point of the season. And so there is so much ball in front of you where it truly, if it does become a self-preservation game, now it's like a lot of guys are going to start playing for the name on the back of the jersey instead of the front of the jersey. And it's just like, let me just show out. And let's say I have one more year on my contract. Let's say I want to get out of here after this season and have that conversation. Well, let's go put good film on there. That's the kind of way you got to spin it in your head as a player. If you're one of those guys that are your 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you know that most of the ball is behind you as opposed to in front of you, you really just want to show that you still got it. And that when people put the film on, these other 31 teams put the film on, they're like, well, we know that this person's not the issue. Because to look at the draft, like, I mean, dude, aside from like AJ Brown, Amani Hooker, Jeffrey Simmons, like there's a handful of guys. Like I never sat there and was like, oh, this rookie is going to be the answer to our questions. Now you look at the Rams, what they did in the past when they won a Super Bowl, when they were just like getting rid of all their draft currency and going to get guys that have shown they can play in the league. That's when you can get a little more excited. But the unfortunate thing here with the Titans is they went and got guys that have shown they can play in this league. They have a bunch of players that showed they can play in this league. They had, I believe I saw something that said they're the number one pass defense in all of the NFL.
I mean, their defense is solid. Their defense
is solid. Like you've got a good ball club as far as talent on the roster. And Will and I don't have the luxury of being in Callahan's meetings and seeing what he's talking about. But I think it would be a very disappointing look if we started saying, hey, BC should be on the chopping block 6 games into his head coaching tenure here at the Tennessee Titans. That'd be ridiculous. Now we get into next year and we're having the same results. Unfortunately, that's just the way this game goes. We like him, we like Rand, but like by no means should we be like ringing the bell till they get a new head coach. And to think like, you know, a top 5 pick is going to fix all our problems next year is a pretty wild accusation to make, especially at quarterback. Jane Daniels, he's having a hell of a rookie season. However, that's a very rare thing to see out of rookies. So it's a mess here. We need a broom because it is a mess.
There's like a week until the trade deadline too. Do you how heavy do you think about that?
I never thought of
not like as a player personally, but like front office. Yeah. Like, do you are you like, all right, do we kind of use the talent we have to maybe go get something, or are you just kind of like, we're sticking this one out and kind of
again? I don't think the issue.
We also don't have.
But again, if say you're sitting in like the coaching staff or the front office, like again, you have talent. Like again, this could be so much of an overreaction that hey, Will or Mason could get this thing going. You want guys who are going to buy in for this last part of the season. You might think of shopping these guys who are disgruntled, unhappy, seemed a little checked out, even though they're talented. It's like if you're going to put anything together, maybe you look at, seeing what phone calls are out there to shop somebody like a Hop. I don't know if you shop like a Calvin. Again, it's just, it all depends on what their feel is.
You just gave Hop $95 million.
Yeah. No, yeah.
He comes with a lot of different issues as well. I don't know, man. Like I said, like the names that are on your roster are not the problem. The talent that's on your roster is not the issue. I don't know what the problem is. Now, getting 11 guys to play as a
But if
team,
you have a good game plan and the talent is not buying into what the game plan is, like that is a problem.
Right.
Like you could say like you play for the name on your back. Like ultimately, if I'm somebody and I play for the name on my back, no matter what, however you see it, if you're going to accept whatever accountability is out there and be optimistic of how your play is going to be, you got to buy into what the game plan is being painted for you. You got to live into the game plan. You got to do all the preparation possible. And no matter what, even if you feel like you're playing for the name on your back, you still have to sacrifice and play for everybody else because you're not going to be successful unless you're trying to play for the guy next to you.
right.
You know what I mean? So I think it truly just depends. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know the vibes. I can understand it a little bit just based on observing. It just doesn't seem like it's good. It's great vibes right now.
It doesn't. It's not. It's
It
bad
doesn't.
vibes.
Yeah, it's bad
vibes out
and
there.
everybody's got a talent. Everybody has talent on their roster. It's all about who can galvanize, who can keep everybody, block out the noise, focus on, hey, here's where your accountability is. Here's where my accountability is. Here's where everybody's accountability is. If we understand that, realize we are, guys, the problem is in this building, but we also have the answer in this building. And if we don't feel like we have the answer in this building, that's where you start to see if you can get creative and see if you can work something before the trade deadline to have a little bit of life to go into this back half of the season.
You know what's probably happening right now that's always very difficult to view as a player during the season? Player-led meetings.
Yeah, but you'd almost like to see something come out that there was a player meeting.
You'd
A
like
player's
to.
own
Is
meeting.
it?
Huh?
But it's who is it that's stepping
Right.
up and saying,
Yeah, you'd almost have to be Big Jeff, somebody from that defensive side.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean,
We interrupt this episode to bring you Body Armor Sport Water, the alkaline water that provides real hydration with electrolytes for taste. Everybody is always drinking it around the shop. The sports drink, the zero sugar, and even the Flash IV. After a long weekend, we can't get enough of Body Armor. The sport water, in my opinion, is the best water on the market. It keeps us hydrated all weekend long when we're on the fall tour. So head on over to your local 7-Eleven and get your Body Armor Sport Water today. Back to the episode with Adam Ray.
You know who would hold the meeting?
who?
Russell Wilson.
Hey, he played well.
Russ
He
is
played
back.
well. Started shaky, but I mean, what do you expect from a guy who had, who's essentially taken a year off from football?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and especially going into that situation, the expectation and the pressure is at its highest because you bench somebody like Justin Fields, who was 4-2. So a lot of that moment last night was riding on how Russell Wilson's going to do. Like, did he look clean and look great and the future is going to be bright for Pittsburgh? Like, no, you can't say that, but also I don't think you can expect him not to look a little rusty coming out there. But I do think moving the ball the way that defense plays, man, obviously you can lean on that defense and win. It's like one of the highest, special teams, that massive field goal block. Yeah, guys just being excited. Like, it is one of the highest paid defenses in the league. They do play like it. Like, Russell he's somebody who, when you're watching him play that game, he takes deep shots. He gives receivers the opportunity to make plays. Pickens seems like he's like in it now because he knows he's getting the ball his way.
Wild personality, that Pickens.
Wild personality.
Wild.
Seeing him and Sauce Gardner go at it was so much fun to watch because both elite guys within their craft. And it does seem like Russ is somebody who can get in there, who's going to take deep shots, who is willing to throw the ball around, but you can't expect him to look completely clean going into that first game based on him taking a year off and also knowing the pressure was at its absolute highest on him going into that game.
Yeah, and being a Steelers fan, like we obviously talked about the not having fun as a Titans fan. Steelers, man, they have Mike Tomlin is the king of culture. He's the king of sustaining and keeping culture alive in a building. And having a guy like Russ, who, if you're a Steelers fan right now listening to this podcast, you know that's not the long-term answer for your team. But for them to put him in there and have the success they did on all three phases, that's the kind of shit that makes Mike Tomlin who he is.
Right, because it was a risk. Like if he doesn't play well and they lose that game, like everybody's calling for Justin Fields to get back. Like you're just in a tough spot.
You're 15-15, and then all of a sudden that they crush the second half.
Mhm.
Like that's the
First
kind of
couple series, they were kind of like the fans were kind of like, did he make the wrong decision?
Mhm.
There were a couple plays where
You heard
Russ
some
should've
boos.
ran.
Yeah, you heard
Like,
some boos. Yeah, to where Justin would probably get you out of that situation because
Right.
they both kind of do some similar things, but Justin's better
Lewan
at
was
running.
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then it sounded like they just quickly were like, all right, let Russ cook.
Mhm.
Let Russ
Let him
cook.
cook. Bring back the Subway sandwich.
Arthur Smith.
I think
man.
with their culture too, when they asked Justin Fields during the week, he's like, if I played good enough, I would be starting. I haven't played good enough.
I love the way Justin Fields
Yeah.
handled that interview because he's been on, I want to say when he was on the Bears, he said something that seemed like he was kind of passing blame, but immediately he was trying to say like he wasn't trying to do that. And it does. It's not, from what I've heard too, Justin Fields is one of those, he's got a very sturdy mentality. He's somebody who's all in. He's for the boys. And to your point, JP, like the way he was like, look, if I was a clear-cut starter, I would be the guy, but I don't feel like I've played well enough to be that guy. Like I love the
That's
way he
awesome.
handled that interview. And
That
those
is
are the guys
awesome.
you need, and you hope his head doesn't go into the tank mentally just because, hey, bro, it's a long season. We're going to need you again at some point, and
Right.
you never know how it's going to shake. Russ could have an off game. Russ could get hurt. Like anything can happen to where if it does shake your way, you're honestly in a little bit of a win-win situation because you are proven to be 4-2. You're taking all the accountability your way. Like, look, I didn't play well enough. And all you got to do now is just be as good of a glue locker room guy as you can be, because if it does shake and it comes back your way, it's ultimately going to work out for you in the end. And you do have film out there of you being a 4-2 quarterback and leading the Steelers before Russ came in.
Dude, that is a great point. When you were put on the bench to become a glue guy, to sit in the locker room and just be as positive vibes as you can, because the relationships that you're continuing to build. Because when your name is eventually called again, people are going to want your success and they're going to be rooting for you in your own team.
Right.
But if you become one of those guys that are bitching and complaining, like, "Hey, I would have made that throw instead of Russ. Oh, I
Right.
would have been able to get us that
Which
situation."
and again, in his shoes, those things could be justified if he was kind of being that guy, like bitter and upset about the move
Right.
and everything else. Like he could easily take that easy way out. But you're right. Like when the moment does come for him to go back in, people are going to remember how you handled yourself. You're obviously remembering how you handled yourself. You're prepared for this next opportunity, and you're not like, I don't know. I love it. I love everything Justin was about last week.
It's the full, whatever happens in your life is your fault.
Yes.
If you're successful, it's your fault. If you do bad, it's your fault. And
Yes.
he seems like he has the right answer to it.
Yeah.
That's
Now, is
fucking.
he somebody another team would want to maybe go get in the trade?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Guys who are hurting at quarterback who might need a spark that could be
I don't
like
think the Steelers are walking away from him though.
No,
They're not.
Right.
They're not.
He's
I
a
don't
tough
think they're
one
trading
to-
him.
You'd have to give a lot.
You probably would, and yeah, I just don't see. But my thought is, if he was going to go into free agency next year or something like that, like there's going to be plenty of teams calling to get a guy like that, especially when you're able to see those kinds of press conferences.
Right.
I love the quote of like, "It's your fault whether successful or you're a failure." Like that's awesome.
and to like it's valuable to have a quality backup quarterback. Like that ain't you're not just because you have a backup quarterback who can play. It's not like you're not immediately looking to deal him. Like it's positive. It's a good thing to have a guy like that on your roster.
Marcus Mariota.
But dude, I love the way he handled all of last week. Truly a beast. Because again, like I can think back on a situation where I was very bitter that I didn't get the opportunity to play at one point in my career in Washington. I want to say it might have been like it was like in my last year before I came to Tennessee. And I was mad and upset. Like the starter, I was the backup middle linebacker. The starter went out and got a shoulder surgery. I thought I was going to be the guy the next week going in, and they split our reps. And my reps was on base. His reps were on nickel. And in this league now, you play more being a nickel linebacker than you do in base. Like your plays are few and far in between. And we had Dallas coming in. And I was legitimately pissed off and very bitter and just being a bitch about the entire thing for a moment. And you sit there and you realize, like, no matter what, I have to be ready for every snap that I get on base, whether it's 2 snaps, whether it's 8 snaps, whether it's 10 snaps, because no matter what, when I go out there, if I don't play well, I'm just proving them right. I'm proving everybody else right in the entire situation. But if I just stick to whatever my role is, play well, like at least I know I poured everything into it. And I know I'm not just taking the easy way out of just bitching and complaining. Because again, you go out and you play poorly. And I'm just, if my mentality is like, yeah, well, I didn't get the opportunity, I didn't get a shot. Well, no matter what, you had some snaps to go out there and play. Like, did you play well or not? If you didn't and you're bitching about it, you're just proving everybody else that like, hey, we made the right call. Like your mentality and everything else isn't built to handle something like that. So it is. That's why I love the way Justin has handled all that stuff. Because again, the team's going to need him at some point this season.
Yeah, that's a common theme in every level of sports, high school, college, or NFL. You always find the guys that want to bitch and complain that are not playing. And then 9 times out of 10, when they get that opportunity, they go in and they shit the bed. Even as a guy that would listen to them bitch and complain, you think to yourself, well, there's your answer right there. But then they want to come back and give you the same fucking reason why the shit didn't work out for them.
Right.
Which is fucking
It's
wild.
like if I'm bitching to you and you're thinking, yeah, you should be the guy out there.
I would
you see me go
100%
out there
think that.
and you see me go out there and play poorly. It's like, hey, man, like even the ops you are getting, you're
Yeah.
not taking advantage of them.
Yeah, but like, and to take it a step further, those guys that bitch and complain about not playing, once they do go play and they don't have the success, their first reaction is to go and bitch and complain
Still
to the
point the
people,
finger that the
being like, yo,
opportunity
if he would have
wasn't-
had X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z, I would have made that play. It's like, obviously, you're your own problem.
Yeah.
You are your
It's
issue.
the loser fucking mentality.
Loser
Dwelling in
fucking
excuses over what JB's saying, everything's your fault, accountability and having optimism, whatever your role is, you want to do it to the best of your ability.
What's funny is listening to you talk about your, those first few years at Washington and being like, everything's your opportunity. I'd make the most out of it. And then thinking back to 2020 when we played the Broncos, you're going to Rashawn and being like, please, for the love of God, play every snap because
Yeah,
I
hey.
am not ready to play this game.
Yeah, I
Literally
just got
comes
here
in 10 days
ago.
before.
Yeah, hey, motherfucker, you guys better
You've
not
got
check
to.
out this game because this
First,
is not.
first series where Sean throws a punch. I remember literally seeing Will like, I don't know, what was it, like the second or third quarter, and you're just like, you looked like a dead man.
Just
like,
gassed,
so gassed
bro.
out of your mind. Because it's hard, dude.
Yeah,
People
playing out
coming
in
off the
Denver,
bench.
the first COVID when there's no juice there. Oh,
Literally,
I was in hell.
dude. And taking any break from football is the worst. I mean, guys who are able to, essentially manipulate the system like you did so well is where you like kind of take camp off for a little bit and then go.
Yeah.
That is a true art form. Because literally, my wife and I last night were actually talking when I was texting with Marcus, and she's like, "What if you and Marcus just went back?" She's like, "How long do you think you could get like ready to go?" I was like, "Dude, first off, let's take the knee out of it. Just, I literally think to myself, 3-4 months of me like I can get my technique back, or I'd feel pretty good about it." And then I really thought about it more. I was like, "There's not a fucking chance in hell I could go back to that and be nearly successful or probably even play." I probably would not make the team right now. Because once you get even a little bit removed and you get that callus of camp and everything, you kind of like, you can just feel it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But man, any sort of break, any sort of time, that's what I think is impressive. You were able to do that.
Oh, I appreciate that. We are still on for year 10. There are a lot of people out there.
A lot of people
year
are clamoring,
10?
huh?
Oh my God. I keep trying to tell people, my guys, I appreciate it. It's done. So I want to say, Ben Kurt posted a video of
You would make this tackle drunk.
making this tackle hungover. Old buddy, was it Josh Allen in Jacksonville?
It was bad.
Just a brutal angle. No, he looks about like how I would look if I was out there. I would just go the extra step and probably tear an ACL. But it was. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, bro, it was a bad angle by this. I think it was Josh Allen, 41, right? Yeah.
It was like a kicker taking an angle on.
Bro, it was brutal.
Josh Allen, the DN for Jacksonville?
Running out to us, making a sideline tackle, and just kind of breaks down and like is slowly turning as the guy makes a cut inside.
He
It
could have at
didn't
least
look
like
good.
left his feet to like
Yeah,
look like
yeah,
it. It would have been better.
At least stop and like dive and
He was
dive
just
off the
still
diving
standing
board.
up.
Yeah, and it's literally like turning with the angle.
What world are you living in if people who are watching who truly think year 10 might still actually be alive? How many snaps do you think you could actually play right now?
One.
For real?
Yeah. What are you saying? Like if I were to play this weekend?
No, this weekend. No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not happening. If you had 3 months to train, legit, hey, Will, we need you
Oh, if I had 3 months to train, I could play special teams all game.
all game.
All game. Think about it. Think about the kickoff rule now.
Yeah, and that's way, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Covering
It's
the
touchback
kick.
every single time.
Getting in somebody's way on a block, and then pump protection is just protecting, then get out and cover. Like I'm probably sprinting 4 to 8 times that game. If I have 3-4 months of training, yeah.
No
I'm
problem.
special teams all game.
What about defense?
No, defense, that's a different animal. and not even from the body standpoint of just like fully diving in, like having the mentality of preparing all week long, every little detail. Like I wouldn't
Just
I
being the neck up guy you truly are.
Yeah, I'd be out there guessing.
You think you're breaking down with Jahmyr Gibbs coming at you?
No. That's the thing. Like my feet, the way my feet will feel after I run, my ankles and stuff like that. Like you were talking about the callousing you get like in training camp and everything else. Like, I mean, I would be on a, I would
saw
be
that
hurt.
run though, right?
If I played defense, I would truly be hurt within the first quarter.
Dog, even the small, like the small things that happen, like when you start camp, you have these loose jerseys on, and after one practice, the rubbing on your neck, and for like the next 4 or 5 days,
It's just your neck being sore from wearing a helmet.
yeah, your neck is literally sore from wearing a helmet. You have like a rash on your neck for like a week, and that takes a week to get over.
Yeah.
Like just the thought of that pain,
Yeah.
it sounds
I would-
so fucking miserable.
I'd be on every offensive lineman's highlight film if I truly can't even imagine playing defense anymore. Can't even imagine.
I mean,
I see these guys hit now. Even at college games,
Dude.
and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I can't even believe I was out there doing that because it hurt. It hurts my body.
In December when we were at the Barstool bowl game, what was it?
It was Wyoming
versus Toledo.
Yeah,
And I'm watching the Wyoming offensive linemen warm up. And I'm thinking to myself, that shit's got to hurt so bad.
just getting your hands put on you.
Just
I'm
fucking-
like, oh, don't.
Did you hear that? Like my fucking, I'm brittle, dude. There's not a chance
There's not
in
a
hell.
chance.
JP, I feel like I've cut you off
No,
6
you're
times.
good.
Go ahead.
1 month ago, Will literally tweeted, "OMG, it's so hot outside."
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, but it's October now. We're playing some favorable weather.
Yeah, you're good. That is true. That is
This
true.
weather
we're playing
is
some
different,
favorite-
man.
But yeah, bro, as hot as it was, I feel
Dead.
so bad for guys that are in training camp.
Oh my God.
OMG.
OMG.
Just the OMG. It's so hot outside right now.
And it used to be nothing, man.
Yeah.
Used to be nothing. Just
I'm in the AC.
on his couch, just staring at that foam. Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh, that was me on the honeymoon, right? Yeah, I'm in my honeymoon. Yeah.
What are we doing there?
Just showing how my tan's getting rolling. What do you mean?
Anything to show them cheeks off, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you see that bubble back there. You see that bubble back there.
I don't think working. That is a wild photo.
Yeah, bro. And that was,
Look at
Year
that
10 was
eye
humming it.
contact you're making with the mirror.
JP and I were driving down to Atlanta. That's when year 10 was still alive.
Did I take that photo?
Zesty ass,
Did I take that photo?
man. All right.
Yeah.
College football.
Yeah, we're in hell.
You want to go first? No, me to go first. We're gonna up this episode to bring you Game Time. Football season is here, and we can't wait to get out to some games this fall with the help of Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. You know how much we love Game Time. Now, with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, they're making it even easier to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Listen, boys, we got Michigan versus Michigan State this week, the battle for Paul Bunyan Trophy, who's going to be state champs. And I saw these amazing deals on Game Time Picks for great seats only at Game Time. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on GT Picks setting at the top of your screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on Game Time app homepage. What are you waiting for? I'm going to go buy those Michigan State tickets now with the Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app today and use code BUSSIN. That's BUSSIN to easily score great deals with the new Game Time Picks. What time is it?
Game time!
What time is it?
Game time!
Let's get back to this episode.
Look, one thing I'm not going to do, and I was talking to Sherm about this last week. It is so fucking easy to hit the panic button and call for people's heads, because that is what I feel like some Husker fans are doing. They're so insanely pissed off. And here's the empathy, the only empathy I kind of have with them, because it's the last 2 decades, the last 20 years, when there's a moment to where we have a chance to get over the hump, whether we're a ranked team, whether we're have a winning season going on, whether we're losing and have an opportunity like Nebraska did, we do have this style about us to where we have an embarrassing loss. So I do empathize with that part. But as far as compartmentalizing and speaking on just this season and just this game, yes, you do not want to lose 56-7, but I swear to God, and I'm going to start grinning, but I believe it to my core. This 56-7 score is way worse than what the film shows. We did not play well. We did not make the plays we needed to make, but we went on long drives. We went on 3 10-plus drives where we only came away total with 7 points. The run defense was disappointing to watch because they are a defense who holds themselves to a very high standard, and they usually, for the most part, play well. But their gap integrity was off. They were the Indiana, and by the way, shout out the Indiana football team. They played better than us.
Great ball club.
They were. Signetti has those boys rolling. They whooped our fucking ass. But if I'm just talking about the Huskers, if I'm just talking about Husker football, that ass whooping, I swear to God, is not as bad as how the score looks. We just didn't finish drives. Dylan had a couple picks that sucked, but we have a quarterback. We can run the football. We can do all the different things. Oh, we got Bert here. Hang on, Bert.
Hold on, Bert.
We can come back after Bert too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Let's knock it. Let's knock this out.
Yeah. I have optimism. I said it about the Titans. The problem is in that building. We also have the answer in that building. We have the players. We have the coaching staff. We have the guys to get this thing right, get this thing going. It sucks that we played as bad as we did, but I'm telling you, we were driving the ball. We didn't get off the field when we needed to. You know, when they go up, I want to say 7-0 or maybe 14-0, we have a solid drive. It ends. We're going for it on 4th down. We would have got the conversion. We fumble the ball and give it back to them. Coming out of the 3rd quarter, we put together a 14-15 play drive. Dylan ends up throwing it right behind the tight end. Safety makes an incredible play coming across the field and ends up picking it off, almost takes it back for a pick 6. So we put ourselves in bad situations. Then the next time we come out, we have another interception where we don't pick up protection. Dylan he wants to try and make a play, ends up throwing it to the other team. You just have a bad play, but I'm telling you, we were putting drives together. We did a very poor job blocking on the perimeter where plays are there. Calls were made where we are in position to make the play. We just don't make the play. So it's cleaning up how we're blocking on the perimeter. It's being gap sound in the run defense. We knew we'd have a problem with Indiana. They're a very good offense. They can move the football. We did have sticky coverage, and both quarterbacks were just making plays, and the receivers were making plays. Sometimes that is the way the game goes. We had a very bad game. We did not show up ready to play. I know Rules talked about it. He's taking all the accountability in the world. He's embarrassed. He hates it. But I'm telling you, we are not dead. We are not dead. Fucking put the cheese out, set the traps. We can go into Ohio State. We can win this game. We can win that. Like, I say that because I know everybody else is going to laugh at it, but I swear to God, that score was not, we are not on life support. We are not on life support.
No one's laughing at that.
I know, but everybody, like, I do the thing where I come out, I'm like, we're going to beat their ass, take your breaded pork loin and shove it up your ass because the Huskers are coming. Everybody's coming after me. I got players DMing me. I got fans from Indiana DMing me. I got Buck Rising texting me. I know how this shit looks because I'm the most optimistic Huskers fan. But I swear, I only got to watch 1 quarter because we were at our meet and greet out at Tennessee. We didn't get to watch the last 3 quarters of the Husker game. I watched it yesterday on Sunday. I watched the entire game. I'm stopping. I'm rewinding. I'm going to it. I'm looking at the gap sound. I'm looking at the play calls we have going. We're driving on offense. We didn't execute when we needed to execute. And I swear the way the game went, that game wouldn't have been as bad as it was, but you listen to Rule, Dylan wanted to keep going out there. They wanted to still fire. They wanted to still throw the ball. They wanted to still try and make it come back. And it just didn't work out that way. It didn't work out that way.
You get towards the end of the game, you start pressing a little too hard. Things just don't go your way. That stuff
People
happens.
are saying that we laid down, we quit. That didn't fucking happen. That did not fucking happen.
No. No one. And the people that are saying that are delusional Husker fans. If Husker fans are over there calling for Rule's head and calling for the other personnel to get the fuck out of there, they are the wrong Husker fans right now to be in that seat.
They are.
Now, everybody has bad games. Nebraska Cornhuskers is a good fucking ball club. All right. Now, Indiana is a lot better than we all expected. We knew going into that game that Indiana was awesome. They have a whole bunch of transfers that came from SEC schools, ACC schools, to the conference formerly known as the Pac-12 schools. They have had a lot of guys, and Spagnetti, is that his name? Signetti has done an amazing job of in the transfer portal, not looking at names, but looking at productivity. He has done an awesome job of turning that program around. The Cornhuskers had a bad day.
We had a bad day.
It is what it is. But if you're a Huskers fan and you are now waving the white flag halfway through the season, well, then the shame should be on you, because that's a good ball club over there in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they got an opportunity against the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a devastating loss in Eugene, Oregon a week ago, have a whole bye week to live and feel that whole time. Two things can happen out of that. You can now go and think, okay, we're gonna go scorched earth on everybody, or doubt starts to creep in a little bit. Now the $12-13 million you spent in NIL, that money's feeling a whole lot better than the actual culture. I'm saying it's a coin flip 50-50 between Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Ohio State Buckeyes this coming weekend.
And if you are one of those Husker fans, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Sherm, what did I tell you last week? The way you were talking about Baylor, I'm like, no, bro, you don't get it. It is so goddamn easy to lose your shit, start pointing the finger, doing everything else other than be like, hey, we're in the fucking trenches right now. We're low right now, but there's no time to bleed because we're going to Ohio State and we got to muster something together. The problem is here. The answer is in here. I swear to God.
Right.
And fuck those Husker fans, dude.
Not
all of them. You guys know I don't feel that way. You
Okay.
guys know what I'm talking about.
Also, could you please clip Will saying, fuck you, Husker fans, just for my own personal socials? Thank you. Now, Michigan. We got a lot of problems, boys. We got some issues going on here.
We ain't in this situation.
Okay.
We can still
Go ahead.
we got a quarterback.
Yeah. Listen, here's the issue. The self-inflicted wounds of the Wolverines is as apparent as ever. Tuttle gave us a little bit of life in the Washington game, but ended up having a bunch of turnovers and those types of things. Same thing happened against Illinois, which, by the way, those fucking Illinois uniforms might be the most disgusting things of all time. I see they're doing the tip of the cap. It's been 100 years. The Illini, the leather helmet, all that stuff. The uniforms looked horrible. But our defense is solid. 3 or 4 times the Illinois offense gets into the red zone and come away with 3 points or nothing. The defense had a much better game. Now, still, I don't like how much we're blitzing. When it comes to the offense, Donovan Edwards, I think the boys got the yips a little bit. I love the kid to death. It just seems like he's having a hard time. He had a run on the left side where he goes and fumbles the ball. It goes right into the Illinois. Now, the Michigan offense, Tuttle, 3rd and 7, starts running. It's open, gets tracked down from behind. Ball gets hammered out, fumble. They get a turnover on a short field. A couple of series later, we have a pick that gets called back. They have a pick 6, or maybe down to the 4-yard line, that gets called back. The next play or the play following that, another fumble. These issues are just snowballing. And the thing that breaks my heart, and I like Tuttle, I like Orgy, and I like the kid that started at quarterback in the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, we just don't have the quality passing we need for the talent we have on this team. That is a criticism, but it is one that it's like, this is just the reality of what's going on with the Michigan Wolverines. We don't have the ability to push the ball downfield vertically. Like we just can't do it. Dave Portnoy has himself, Michigan fans, I'm on it. And that actually gave me hope, because if you look at our offensive line gelling, coming together, our tight end, that's the person I probably feel most bad for, is because he is a kid that was argued as maybe the best tight end in all of college football before the football season started, and you just don't have a way to get him the football. There was multiple outs, ins, routes that he was running where there was plenty of separation, where they just couldn't connect to him. The kid, I'll tell you what, his draft stock might be going down, but my God, whoever picks him up is going to have the steal of the draft, because this kid just isn't able to put the film out there that he wants to put out there.
That's because it's truly like it.
We just don't have somebody that can throw him the ball.
No doubt. And defensively speaking, it's, hey, guys, stop the run, make whatever quarterback's out there beat us.
Right.
And when we know it's a passing situation, we're going to have a couple sets of eyes on Loveland.
And
so you take away those things, like it's going to be hard for you guys.
Illinois' quarterback, as you know, as Nebraska found out, that quarterback is really good.
Yeah.
He's good enough at throwing, and
Illinois is a tough team.
Yeah, he's an elusive quarterback. When you are in a 2-minute or a passing down situation, you need to have coordinated rushes. You need to have pressure up the middle and not go past the line of the quarterback to get back to him when he tries to break through those gaps, those B gaps, C gaps, A gaps, when he's trying to run, because he's going to make plays with his legs. And so those are a lot of things that fell apart towards the end of that game as well. Is this a Big Ten championship team this year? No, it's not. Do we have a lot of talent on this football team? Yes. We're just missing a few key pieces that unfortunately are the most important position in football. And I hate saying it like this because I'm not trying to shit on those guys that are playing and putting their heart in the line every single day. It's the proof's in the pudding, and we have the film out there where we just can't push the ball down the field. Like I said, I like those guys. I've DM'd with all of them. I think they're fantastic. The fact that they're still sticking it out and putting 100% of themselves on the field every time they go on is an admirable thing. We got Michigan State this week. We got the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Michigan State's also 4-3. It's in Ann Arbor. It's at 7:30 this weekend. Michigan's favored by they're favored by 5.5 right now. And I'm nervous because I've been real fucking nasty to the Michigan State fans. Of all the college football programs, I despise Michigan State the most. They're not. It's an ugly campus. They're a less than program. They don't deserve to be on the same football field as a prestigious program like the University of Michigan. However, it's going to be a fucking ball game at night in Ann Arbor. And that scares the shit out of me. That scares the absolute shit out of me. So
we're hurting right now.
We're hurting.
That's all it is. We're hurting right now. We're hurting right now. But better days ahead.
People think Sherrod Moore is not the answer. Go fuck yourself. Because he is the guy. We just have one key issue, is that we're unfortunately playing a game with throwing turned off right now. That's how we've essentially set up our settings in the game. And that's just how it's working out. Go to somebody else that's sad. Go to Garrett.
We can so we have our guest for next week. He's here in the shop right now, Bert Kreischer. We're going to jump to him, but all the rest of our football talk, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina Gamecocks put an absolute ass whooping on Oklahoma last weekend. We will talk about all that stuff in our new show, The Locker Room, this Thursday. That's going to drop at 6 a.m. in the morning. Our new show, The Locker Room, all ball talk, all football talk. We will get to all of that stuff. Right now, we're gonna jump to the Adam Ray interview. His new special releases on November 19th. This was as fun of an interview as you can imagine. The twisted question is unreal at the very end.
The best twisted question answer we've ever had.
We had a lot of fun. Shout out to boy Adam. We had a very fun podcast episode. You guys are going to love this. Again, we're going to hit an ad read. We're going to dive into the Adam Ray episode. If you're still tuned in right now, do not forget, I encourage you, navigate over, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave some comments along.
And hold on, before we leave, listen, there's 10 more days left of Spooktober. This is when you press the gas. This is the time. We got the merch right here, store.barstoolsports.com. Go ahead and grab you some. The merch is done really well. Garrett, who is our merch guy, has told us that you guys have really bought in. We appreciate you doing that. We literally have 10 days left, and then we have to wait a whole another 365 just to jump back in bed with 31 days of fright. So for the love of God, put a pumpkin in the chat. Let us know that you are supporting Spooktober, because right after this, boys, jingle bells are going to start ringing, and we're going to give a hell of a week to Thanksgiving, but we have 10 more days to embrace spooky season. Let's make the most out of it. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Please, for the love of God, enjoy this episode, because we really did.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Fireball. Fireball is the perfect shot for game day, and whether you're buying those sneaky little shooters before going into the stadium or going big with the Fireball keg for your tailgate, whether it's a pregame shot in the tailgate lot or a celebratory touchdown shot at the bar, no matter what, it's guaranteed to ignite your game day. Fireball's iconic cinnamon flavor tastes fire and goes down easy, making it the ultimate crowd pleaser. That's why it's the #1 shot in the U.S. and we love it every time we go to the most recent spot we're at, Knoxville, Tennessee, when we're doing socials with the boys with those little fireball shooters. Fireball Whiskey is here to give you the spark to ignite that rivalry all season long. Grab your football buddy, buy a round, and reignite the rivalry flame. Back to the episode.
Are you a sports fan at all?
Huge, dude. Bro,
Really?
we could. I know that that's a part of the show. We could talk the whole time sports, and then we could do a separate comedy one. But we'll try to find a healthy balance.
Are you a college football? And are we rolling?
Huge, dude. Bro,
We're rolling right now.
Yep.
Let's give Adam Ray a round of applause, huh?
thanks
Let's
for having me,
feel good
fellas. First time caller, long time listener. There we go. Always wanted Will Compton
First
to
time.
grab some web above my head.
Web above your head, dude.
It
That's
reminded me, I used to work at Universal Studios. It was my first day job. I played Wolverine. Then I was a tour guide. Then I hosted the Fear Factor live show. But your form was there was a Spider-Man there. There were 3 Spider-Mans, 3 Wolverines. I was third string Wolverine because I didn't know shit about the fucking... Kids would be like, what's Wolverine's favorite food? And I was like, potato salad. That's one of my first jokes. And I literally would say that. And then my boss was like, don't be funny. Wolverine's not funny. Like she'd hear me out in the park and be like, stop making fucking jokes. I'm like, I'm a comedian. She's like, well, then maybe this is the wrong fit for you. I'm like, well, maybe you are a ex-Disney princess that put on some weight and now you're taking it out of the characters.
right. Just
True story. I don't want to say her full name.
True story.
but
She was overweight. She was actually a big gal.
She was a big gal. And she's fine now, but she just was like, anyway. The Spider-Man there was one of them that was gay. And he was fucking, dude, his fucking, when he would fire webs, dude, it was always a little like, just, it wasn't bad. It was just different.
Right.
It
wasn't.
By the way, I sound like a dad who's definitely not a fail. Like my son's not bad. He's just different, But he
would
was
break
great.
the wrist a little too much.
Break the wrist a little too much. And there was a guy who was playing Shrek, and they were dating, and somebody was fucking somebody, and they got into it in character in the park. Bro, when I tell you, like, I used to live with a guy who worked at AT&T, and a guy who was a chef, and we'd come home at night and all like commiserate stories, how was your day? And my buddy AT&T would be like, I fucking hate people, dude. People come in, they don't know how to work the phones. They're like, how do I upgrade the plan? It's like, I already upgraded it for you. Do you even know, like, it won't turn on? Like, it's actually on right now. And then my chef buddy would just be blackout drunk because, anyone that works in the food industry, they work and they come home and they booze, right? And so he'd be fucked up, and they're like, Adam, how was your day? And I was like, dude, I saw a trolley drive by me with SpongeBob, Curious George, and Fievel blasting the song Ooh Ee Ooh Ah Ah Ching Chang Walla Walla Bing Bang, and I was holding a multicolored squirt gun, and I was playing a 1940s cop, and my boss told me, put down the squirt gun, you're ruining 1940s New York. And I'm like, did you hear the fucking trolley that just drove by blasting that song? I'm not a history buff, but I don't think Ooh Ee Ah Ooh Ching Chang Walla Walla Bing Bang was being played during World War II. Anyway, so who you guys voting for? No, what was the question? No. Oh yeah. So Spider-Man. So then Spider-Man, Shrek, they're fighting, and I was just like, dude, this is wild, because kids thought it was a part of like a daytime show, but they were like got into it because Shrek was under the fucking thing, was like, he's just a friend. He's like, whatever. And he's like, what's on your fucking Facebook, in the park, dude.
While kids are around trying to take photos.
Kids are taking photos. They got no clue. They're like, oh, this is like, like I guess, they can
These guys
curse
are
now.
Multi-universe.
Yeah.
Multiverse before it even started.
Yeah, man.
So how long did you have that job for?
I went to USC. I was there during the Trojan War, the Pete Carroll years.
Yeah.
My first 01 to 05. So my first year.
Oh, the good years.
Bro,
Good years. The years that you hang your hat on.
Bro, I mean, we're talking, not just Leinart, Reggie, Lindale, Carson for 2 years, but fucking Mike Williams, Dwayne Jarrett, Tua. I mean, oh my God, dude. Up and down the line.
Yeah.
And now Sammy D's become a good buddy of mine who had a good run there and is 5-0 and making everybody in SoCal look good. It was wild.
He's having a hell of a year, bro.
He's having a great year. Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah,
it's so cool. Sports are so. I mean, you guys know this, man. It's so wild. Like people get written off so quickly when they have high expectations, and I guess understandably so. But man, to be number 3 pick, like have a shit situation. And I just saw him in Minnesota. I was out there doing shows, and I keep hearing these pundits try to act like they know you and say like, oh, San Francisco, like he got better. Like, of course, dude, you back up. You were Shanahan, and that's why he's doing well. And I go, well, is that like, now I want to ask the source, did that have something to do with it? He goes, dude, I always will say now I got my PhD in football being in San Fran.
No shit.
And he goes, he said, just understanding coverages more. Obviously being more seasoned, more comfy in your own skin. But he said, "Look at that baby boy face, dude. Look at that fucking 5 inches hard, dude." And so he said that just taking his time and learning not to, that you don't have to force anything is what he really got. He's like, so many young QBs like want to scramble and have to feel like they got to make a play. And he's like, knowing that it's okay to throw it away if it's not there.
Right.
And so then I said, well, what about, I think a few games ago when he scrambled out to the left and hit Jefferson in the corner, and he goes, well, it was third down. I knew we had points. And so it was, try to make something happen. As soon as I got outside the pocket, I saw him, and he goes, and I saw the defender's back turn, and I was just like, oh, I feel bad for this guy. Like, because he was just like, oh, this is 6,
Yeah, especially when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson,
who he says is like the greatest guys ever. Like,
Yeah, he might be the GOAT when it's all
he said
done.
him and McCaffrey are like the two studs of the
Shout out McCaffrey, dude. First off, he is like, if there was a mural to have on this bus, it would be McCaffrey. He's the great white hope.
Yeah.
He gives all of us, we have all white employees, and it's just like,
good for you, man.
He's
Give him
giving it
a
back.
chance, dude. Give him a chance, dude, because
Yeah.
I'll say no. But
No, go ahead,
just
finish that
go on a
thought.
super
Finish that
pro
thought.
white rant.
Yeah.
No, but being at SC during that time, the Lakers were Kobe, Shaq running the table, and Dodgers, I guess, were okay, but SC football was king, dude. I mean, it was. That's why when Reggie got in trouble, everybody was so pissed, because it was like, dude, there were Bush jerseys everywhere, not just around campus. All of Los. I mean, he was a god.
He was
so
him, bro.
so.
And it's
Yeah,
gotta
man,
be
give
the
him an
hardest
Escalade
city.
and a fucking butt plug, whatever you gave him, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I think he earned it.
Every kid around the country too was watching his highlights to where
100%, 100%
at all times.
But in 01 to 05, to take advantage of a city like LA and have everybody actually back, it's got to be one of the hardest things to do. I heard they were like, these guys were dating celebrities in college.
Oh, you'd see Kardashians were on campus, and like
Kardashians before Kardashians.
dude,
This
Meg
is when
Ryan,
the
Matt
Kardashians
Leinart
were on
was
Paris
fucking Meg
Hilton
Ryan.
show.
No, I'm joking. What's that? Yeah, before Paris. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like reality TV got going. What was the height of it? Probably about early mid 2000s, maybe.
I think
Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
was-
when
I was
MTV was
still-
going off
yeah, I was
with
still
Next and
ripping
Room Raiders.
Jersey
and-
Shore.
Well,
Right,
those
some
aren't that's
Blind
not
Date.
reality TV, is it?
No, yeah,
Is
for
it?
sure.
Does that count?
I mean, not like how we, I guess, view it now, but
yeah. But if
Room
you
Raiders,
look back
yeah.
at like 01, 05, like the Paris Hilton show, whatever that show was called.
Don't act like you don't know it.
I don't. I swear to God.
Come
And I'm
on,
not.
man.
I'm
50
not
bucks if
a.
you come up with it right now.
Oh fuck.
It was with her and Lionel's
Yeah.
daughter, right?
Yeah.
Homegrown or fucking Twat City or what was it?
No.
No, it was.
I really don't know.
By
And
the
I
way,
feel like
I
we're.
watched 5 seasons of Twat City without even knowing what it was.
What is Twat City?
It's not a real show.
What are you talking?
I said, well, I was trying to come up with the name of the Nicole Richie Paris Hilton show.
Would you know?
Simple Life. See, I knew it was a couple banger.
Okay.
Boom, boom. Simple Life.
Simple Life. But like
Twat
on,
City was-
on that
yeah.
show, Kim Kardashian was like Paris Hilton's lackey.
Yes.
And that's like 01 to 05.
Yes.
This is before like the peak.
It
I feel like the
was.
peak is now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the peak
Everyone's
is now.
I
diving
don't know.
in.
Jersey Shore was hot back in 2010.
I remember the first time I saw
Never
Jersey
got.
Shore and I was like, wow, this is unbelievable.
Unreal.
Because the hype, I let in.
You bet. Hey, we got a grenade outside.
Bro, dude, Snooki just liked one of my reels, and I'm like, I kind of got a little like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, you
Right?
kind of made
You know
it.
what? Here we go, dude. I might have been on, Kill Tony Guest of the Year, but this fucking feels.
This might be it.
Snooki took a punch from a PE teacher, Yeah, that show, the hype got so big, and I almost didn't want to watch it because I was like, there's no way it's going to live up to what I
Yeah.
have created,
Mhm.
and it surpassed it, dude.
No shit.
I mean, I was high as balls, but it was also like, they were just. It felt like real world. They were still people. Like they felt like you could see that guy outside.
Mm.
These guys were like,
Insane.
you're like they're caricatures of human beings.
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were like, I mean, look, like I feel like that guy was that guy before that camera
Right.
started rolling. He was
Right.
just like, yeah, dude, nothing's changing.
Yeah.
Like, and they must have,
Jim. What was the third
Yeah,
thing?
GTL, Gym Tan Laundry.
Jim Tan Laundry.
bro, the situation on the
The shirt before the shirt.
the shirt before the shirt, dude. Yeah, but so yeah, a huge sports fan. I mean, Seattle guy. So obviously Pete went to Seattle. That was amazing. That's why I was so sad when he got canned, because it was like, dude, that was my stepdad for 17 years. Huge M's fan. Sonics, R.I.P. We can talk about the Sonics leaving. We can also talk about my parents' divorce. Whatever, however sad you want to make this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
They'll be back
let's
though.
Get to the core of you.
I've got to know Sean Kempto real well, NGP, which is fucking rad and smoke. Dude, I did a Dr. Phil live show in Seattle. at this about 1,000-seat theater. We're going to make it real Seattle. We're doing this big Dr. Phil Live tour now, right? In all these theaters. And so in each place, you want to try to, get somebody from, like when we do the Nashville one, we got some, pretty big music guys from down here that are going to come on, and some people that just, it's, try to get somebody from here, if not fly them out to there, if they're not from there, and just make the show as special as possible. So Joel McHale is a good buddy of mine. He's a big Seattle baby. And he was in Vancouver shooting his Fox show, and so he stayed down. And then we got Sean Kemp come on, and some Seahawks, and then we got the market fish guys, right? We hit them up and we're like, how much to come throw fish into the fucking crowd? And they were like, we're fucking fans, man. Like, we'll do it for this amount if you just want to buy the fish. So it was like,
we'll find our
I
own
think
way.
75 fish, and then there was a king salmon that was like 300.
Yeah.
And so it became a cool thing where it was like, we're going to do Seattle trivia with Joel McHale. So it was like, and they were all fan submitted questions. Like, Joel, Costco was created after, what suburban fatty? And I'd give like a bunch of names, and every answer he got would be right. And then turn the lights on. Who wants to catch a fucking fish? And then these guys would come out, and the music would play. And bro, I've never seen, you go to any sporting event when they got the t-shirt cannon or fucking, beanies, whatever it tells you. People go nuts, dude.
Yes.
We love free shit. Stop saying it's just a Jew thing, man. Everyone loves free shit. And this guy fucking barehanded one, dude. The place went bonkers. And, dude, it was awesome. So, but Kemp came on. And the next day, he hit me up, and that's my white rapper brother-in-law, Dirte. He closed the show out, fucking, made his night. And he hit me up the next day, Rain Man, and he goes, he's in my phone as Rain Man. And he goes, dude, so fun. Like, come down to the shop. He's got a weed shop called Kemp's Cannabis in downtown Seattle. And he goes, come on down. Let's burn one down and, like, go get some lunch. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Whatever you fucking say. Like, you could have said, let's go vandalize a Baskin Robbins. Let's go kidnap a fucking gaggle of little people and sell them to Hamas. Whatever you want to do. And so we go down to Kemp's Cannabis. And we're walking around downtown Seattle on a beautiful summer day, smoking joints. He's asking me about comedy shit. He's telling unbelievable NBA stories. And it's just like, bro, comedy got, like, it's just wild, dude. And he's a fucking very cool guy. And yeah, man.
Did you
Should be in
ever
the Hall of
see
Fame.
like this amount of doors opening for you when you decided to do comedy?
No way, man. Dude, you can't even.
I mean, you're
moving.
a Dr. Phil tour.
Yeah, it's wild.
Which is crazy. And
Have you
Dr.
guys
Phil
seen any
has
of it?
Hey, oh,
The clips?
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the clips are
and
everywhere.
Dr. Phil, he's the one that said you were the Kill Tony Guest of the Year,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
He gave that whole clip to you.
Yeah. He's when does this come out, by the way?
Next
week.
Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Well, there's some stuff I'll tell you guys off cam, but he's signed off on the show, and like I've talked to him recently, and he's just like, it's real funny, man. You would have known a long time ago if I wasn't cool with this shit,
Yeah.
and he was like, when we first talked, he was like, I got one request. Can you stop kissing me as Bobby Lee, or kissing Bobby Lee as me?
Yeah.
Because I've kissed Bobby Lee twice. And I go, I can't do that, Phil. I go, I know that you're happily married to 48 years, but I also know you love the soft, supple lips of a 50-year-old Korean man. And I swear to God, he takes a beat and he goes, oh, we'll be right back. And I was like, this guy's funny shit. Because he's watching enough, and he's, there. Yeah, dude.
Hey,
I mean, that's a fucking bad angle, because that looks like I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. It looks like, yeah, that's our first kiss look. Have you talked to Dr. Phil about coming on and you interviewing
Yes,
Dr. Phil?
that's in the works, yeah.
It's in the works right now?
And so, but I knew my intentions the whole time I was never trying to defame him. It was just all goofy parody.
Mm-hmm.
And, but you still don't know how someone's going to take being impersonated, right? I've heard from friends that have been on Saturday Night Live that there's been guests that have come on, and my friend or whoever does an amazing impression of them. So it's like, oh, what a great opportunity to do some sort of looking in the mirror sketch, or having two McConaughey's, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And the person is like, I don't want any part of that. And you're like, dude, what a bummer. Like, if you can't laugh at yourself. And again, I don't feel like what I'm doing is, I'm not up there being like, women deserve a couple you can, a light tap from time to, I'm not doing anything like that makes him look bad, or I don't pull from, what he actually does in real life. It's just all heightened, and it's still me through all the makeup, but it was the actor strike hit, and after COVID, I just kind of got to a real stale point where it's like, you guys are the same way. It's like, you're just always trying to throw darts, man, and be creative and find ways to, not just make money and support yourself, but like, for me, it's like, if I'm not flexing the creative muscle and like trying to do new shit. Like, fuck, what are you doing? You know, going on stage and doing the same shit every time. That's why I love doing crowd work in between my shows, peppered through, because it just breaks the monotony of straight material, you know? And it's the spontaneity of not knowing what's going to happen. And so when the actor strike was happening, it was like, I don't want to wait around for jobs to happen. And really waiting around to be in other people's shit just runs its course. Yeah. So it was like, all right, I love being on stage. I went to USC for acting school and then did a bunch of plays and and that's why I started doing stand-up, because I just like being on stage. And I was like, there's got to be something else I can do. I've been fucking around with Jeremiah Watkins during COVID, doing these like lost Dr. Phil episodes with all his characters. So I kind of honed the character that way. And I was doing these Adam Ray and Friends shows at the Comedy Store. And everyone started kind of doing, I think just around that time, an End Friends show. And I was like, fuck, now I'm just like I'm just doing what everyone's doing, you know? Right. And again, that just makes you feel like I'm just like, I got more to bring to the table.
Just and build on the machine.
Totally, dude. And you're like, you got to try like it, but doing a live show, then there's the, always the apprehension of like, oh, like fucking the store's my home club. So the staff, like they're going to be judging me doing something different. And your comic friends in the back watching, you just have to get over that shit. Right. So eventually it was like, who fucking cares if this bombs? You got to try something. And Bill Burr had to cancel the last show. So I knew I had him committed to the, to whatever next show I did. And so I called him up and I was like, Billy, I'm thinking about doing this like live show as Dr. Phil. I don't know what it looks like. It's like a late night show. I'll interview you, maybe do some stand up. And he just couldn't have been quicker to be like, dude, fucking yes, dude, I'm fucking in. That's fucking so funny, dude. Make fun of my anger issues. Say that I got a black wife going on that, And it was like, it crushed. It sold out in a day. And then, so I was like, at least because I wanted to.
That was the first episode.
That was the first one about a year ago. Yeah. Probably about a year ago, a couple weeks ago. And he just ripped. And he and I had a great banter. And he immediately was like, he's like, we're going to do it again. You got to go harder at me. Because I was trying to find
how nervous
Bill's my favorite comic. So I'm like, even though I'm in character and I felt a little more comfy to jab him, I'm still like, I don't want to fucking not be funny in front of him. Yeah. But so I felt pretty good. And then we did it the second time and it was just like, we started the show and I was like, and he said something and I go, you're such a fucking cocksucker, aren't you? I go, you're an angry guy. You wake up in the morning just wanting to hit something, don't you? And then we just had a much better rapport. And he's doing it again for the third time in December at the store. But so that gave immediate eyeballs to it. Right. And then it was like, we're talking about Adam Devine. It's like, in this business too, and you guys are great examples of this, you get to do cool shit and work with cool people if you work hard and you fucking be kind, dude. It's really not that tough to not be a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. It's tough to, it's easy to not be a piece of shit and not be a pedophile. You know how easy it is to look at a kid and not go, yum, 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 yum. It's so easy to not do that. And it's so easy to be kind to people, dude. And then people want to fuck with you. So I go, Adam Devine, you want to do it? Bobby Lee, and I'm quoting Jared from Subway. And then I go, too soon. And so then Bobby and Santino came on, then Rife, then it was like, now only find some cool combos, Whitney Cummings and Nikki Glazer did it together, which is another cool part about it where you're going, Whitney and Nikki know each other, but they've never been on a show like that together. So that was a really cool dynamic. Then we had, Rick Glassman's a good buddy of mine and Sal Volcano and they know each other, but Rick helped me get Dax Shepard. And then I was like, well, I'm going to have all three of them at the same time. And that's kind of a challenge just to kind of balance the energies. But then that was fun. And then Jelly Roll came by and Pete Holmes and Tiffany Haddish. And now we got, this next one we're doing. The last one we just had was Chris DeStefano and Fortune Feimster and Corolla. And now we got Rob Lowe, Wayne Brady, and Josh Wolf. And then the December one is Bill Burr, Jaleel White, Rob Riggle, and Tony Hawk. Just fucking,
Tony
Hawk. Marry, fuck,
yeah,
kill,
that's all
kill,
time,
fuck,
man.
Marry, fuck, kill, fuck. So you do it Bill Burr once. And did you know right then and there, I was like, okay, I got something here?
I think so. Well, actually, no. I knew it was fun. And and the audience had a good time. So I was like, it's at least... And then the challenge of now because we just kind of had loose, I'll come out and do a monologue, which was 3 jokes, just kind of, today's show's all about imitation, Webster's Dictionary, and then some sort of thing, and then 3 jokes, and then some crowd work, and then a little quick bit before, and then I had these old sketches that I shot as fake commercials, and it was fun. So then it was the challenge of, now let's just make it tighter and better, and then we got rid of the stand-up part because that just ate 20 minutes, and then each show is just different. I randomly met Mark Summers, who used to host Double Dare 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm trying to add these extra elements to the show, I'm like, what if like Mark came on and like to end the show, Jeremiah always comes on at the end as a new character, and then he and I get in a fight, and that's how the show ends. And then I do like this final thought with a spotlight and piano music, you know, where it's like, well, we learned a lot today, you know, after I beat the shit out of Jeremiah with sound effects and fart noises and whatever, in any character. And so I go, what if Mark Summers comes on and we do a Double Dare thing? Just a way to, and so we built all these Double Dare sets, and Jeremiah played the kid, and we had the fucking helmets, and we had people come up, and we had the Double Dare music, and Mark Summers hosted it, and he was hilarious. Yeah, here we go. I mean, he used to be a fucking, Mark Summers used to be a, yeah, so then this is how the fight ends. Yeah, it's just all the sound effects, and then and Mark Summers,
just over the top.
And we
sound
put
effects.
sex toys in the ball pit, so that's like what you had to. It was like find the flag or the dildo, you know, covered in fucking Double Dare mush. And Mark Summers is like, oh,
Wait, is
Dr.
that you
Phil.
throwing punches?
Oh,
at
then
the
I
end
fucking
there?
then I fucking eat shit for real. Then I get up and I'm like, I'm fine. Everyone starts chatting. I'm like, I'm fine.
When you're finding this character, how, as you're like working through the process, how hard is it for you to stay in character at all times?
I don't know, man. I mean, you know, fucking.
Too deep of a question?
No, not at all. I mean,
he's like,
I'm
no,
not,
just a bad one,
bro. Somebody just asked me that. I'm not like a. You know, you hear about Tom Hanks got asked that question because it was about when Heath Ledger went so deep with the Joker.
Yeah.
And I think there was like talks that he like wouldn't, you know, there's some actors that like Jim Carrey from Man on the Moon went on set as Andy Kaufman and was like Andy Kaufman the whole time. And apparently it was wild. And then Tom Hanks was like, dude, I'm Forrest Gump. And then I fucking go take his shit. And I'm like, you know, I'm Tom, like I can break it, you know, but some people have that and some people need to talk to me in character, whatever. It's, man, I'm in and out of it. But you know, I don't know, all the reps with acting and stuff probably at least give me a good base to know how to like, but again, it's still me, but it's like, I guess if you're asking, you know, can I stay in the voice? Yeah, like, that's pretty easy to maintain. Just because reps are doing it. But yeah, man, no clue. You never know what is going to be a thing that's going to get you more anything. So it's like, you have to do it with the intention of like, this is fun, which is truly how it started. And then a challenge. And then like, something different. I'll do it once a month just to kind of mix up the monotony of all the other bullshit. And then, yeah, dude, I mean, like now it's like, you know, but again, it's something that's opening doors for other shit. It's not, if I was 3 years into comedy, yeah, dude, I'd probably be in full fill right now. And
there's a piece of us hoping.
Well, dude,
is he going to walk through the door as
I'm down to come back and do that for sure. Cause you guys are the shit. But like, if I hadn't found my voice through comedy, cause now it's like, all my stand-up shows are packing out because people from Kill Tony and this are like, they're coming to the shows. And like all the shows in Zanies this week are sold out. And they would only give me a one-nighter up until about, 2 years ago. And I was like, can I get a weekend? Like, you just don't move tickets. And now everyone's coming out, and I've been doing stand-up 17 years. So then you go, okay, cool. I'm glad that I stuck with it. So now that like everyone coming is going to get a great show because I'm going to, I'm ready for it.
Right.
We interrupt this episode to bring you Hustle Butter. Bussin' with the Boys is sponsored by Hustle Butter, the best way to care for your tattoos, new or old. Hustle Butter products aren't just about keeping your tattoos looking vibrant, which they do. They are also designed to keep your skin soft and smooth. The boy Taylor will talk about how much he loves Hustle Butter here in a second because he is covered with tattoos. But as someone who doesn't have a single tattoo, I love throwing a little bit on my skin to keep it soft and moisturized. Hustle Butter products instantly hydrate skin and art so tattoos can look and feel their best for life.
Thank you, Will. And yes, that is true. I am covered in tattoos, and I have wanted to be since I was a little wee boy. Now, when you get tattoos, at first, when you first get them, they're vibrant, they're beautiful, they're very dark. But as you get older, as the sun starts to expose a little bit more on the skin, they become a little more gray, a little more faded. Those tight lines now start to bleed together a little bit. With Hustle Butter, when you take it and you put it on your skin, not only does it smell tropical, so even in the wintertime, boys and girls, it's like you're playing in the sand. That's how good this thing smells. You literally get to see your tattoos come back to life as if they are brand new. Personally, I am a huge fan of this product right here. They have a little topical thing right there, but they also have like a little squeegee bottle like you would put a regular lotion on, which I also like because everyone likes that convenience of having the little, you gotta put that in there, you rub it in real quick and pop it on. Hustle Butter is an incredible product. We love it very much.
We have worked with Hustle Butter to get you an exclusive discount. Get 15% off your first order on hustlebutter.com with code BUSSIN15. That is BUSSIN15. Exclusions apply. Do not wait. Shout out the boys at Hustle Butter. Always for the boys. Real and never fades. Back to this episode. When did the Biden impression?
Oh, sure.
We got so many. Look, we got upstairs jobs. We got downstairs jobs. It's a great question, Will. We got Will. We got Will Compton. We got Will. I went to Compton. I found my first black friend was in Compton. And my second black friend. You're a true American right there. Who just shit my pants?
Yeah. Fuck, I don't know, dude. I did a couple jokes in my act, and then Tony hit me up and was like, change your plans. You got to come to Austin tonight. Shane's sticking around to do Trump. Bring your makeup gal. I bought a new vest. It's go time, baby.
I bought a new vest.
So that was like, he hit you up and he's like, you got to do this tonight.
Bro, I was doing Kill Tony on that Monday, and then the debate happened. And, Trump's like, Joe, your mama's so fat, her blood type's ragu. And Joe's like, you're a sucker. I'm going to lick your sucker. I'm going to suck your liquor. I'm going to lick. See how many licks a chick is at the center of a Tootsie Pop. And then Tony's like, we got to parody this, dude. And again, same thing. You don't know you just don't fucking know what's going to hit. The first Dr. Phil I did on Kill Tony, I hit up Tony. I go, hey, man, I just did this in L.A. I think it would be fun on Kill Tony because he's like known for giving advice. And Tony's like, awesome. Yes. Perfect. Do it. Go crazy on Hans. William will be weird about it. And then I got a new vest. And then, do it. They don't know what we're doing down here. They don't know. They don't get it. And so Tony's a shit, dude. So Tony is so, I've known him forever, and that's such an added advantage that he was so like receptive to like, yeah, dude, come fucking do it. And we got off stage, and it was really fun. You can feel in the moment at the mothership, and like anything, right? From just how it's going that like, all right, I think this will be okay online. And Tony gets off, it's like, that was fucking unbelievable. And then we did another character. I did this old woman named Elaine, and then when this happened, I think he because we had done a few other characters, he was like, oh shit, I know. We'll use the makeup gal to do it. And she was on her deathbed and she fucking sucked it up. Jen Aspinall, shout out. She came down and fucking Shane was a gangster and stayed in makeup for 2 hours. And, he'd done Trump 3 times and never done Biden. So we're back there trying to help each other out. He's, or at least he's, asking me, he's like, what are you going to do for the face? And I'm like, I'm kind of going to, get the smirk going from trying to do a lot of pointing, hey, where's this guy over here? Yeah, we got a Jew, we got a white guy, we got a white, we got a black Asian guy. Hey, how about it? All types of guys, And then I was just kind of doing the walk, and then he thankfully was like, dude, you got to get the aviators. And so they got those for me last minute, which was, I think, a big time character move.
Yeah.
Just being able to have those to differentiate from my eyes, and then also to be able to take them off and do some, say it to my face, do a little crazy shit. But dude, it was fun. And man, I've said this on stage. Shane and I talked to each other maybe 4 or 5 times at comedy clubs. And I did Phil when he did New Year's for Kill Tony last year. So we had to shoot the shit a little bit. But we were getting to know each other in character doing that for 2 hours, which is so fucking weird. Like at one point I was like, Shane, this is the most we've ever talked to each other. And he goes, Joe, shut the fuck up. Trader Joe, you fucking get a dice. But yeah, dude, you just kind of go, all right, we're both pros. Like we want each other to win. So you got each other's backs, right? But still finding the rapport is always what's a new thing, especially when you're like doing something like that for the first time. But like, he's so fucking funny, dude. So like, just knowing that he was going to be there and come out, it was like, all I got to do is find pockets to like be funny. But a friend of mine was like, dude, you got it easy, man. Like, all you got to do is mumble and stumble. I'm like, dude, that's funny for a minute. Like, I'm going to be there for 2 hours. I got to find, by the way, shout out Aaron Rodgers. I went up to him at the second night of MSG. He was tossing footballs into the crowd. I walk up to him. I go, Aaron, big fan. He goes, dude, you're so funny. I go, hey, the vaccine does work. And he just fucking laughed, dude. And I go, hey, stop laughing. It's real. And just stayed in character, and he was like, all right, man. No, it doesn't, man.
It's wild that you guys like went back and forth in makeup, because when you walk out, Shane's face, it's like he saw you for the first time.
Yeah, dude.
He just couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And that also makes it hilarious.
Bro, it's got like, Tony just told me like the Brady roast is like the most watched thing this year, and this just surpassed it.
No shit.
Kill Tony is
like 2.5 billion.
This episode?
Yes.
No shit. Yeah, because Kill Tony's been on for 11 years?
Yeah, he was talking about how it's been going.
Oh, what happened?
It's all right, dude, let's move on. I was trying to say the third most watched thing was 2 Girls, 1 Cup. It's fine, dude. I just
that is a staple to all of our childhood. Yeah. That is a staple.
Bro, unfortunately, that's right. You guys are younger than me. It's I said last night, I brought it up, and I said, I go, God, isn't it fucked up? I go, I'll never forget who sent me the link to 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Like Sean Flanagan. I'll say his name, dude.
Cody January.
What's that?
Cody January sent me the clip.
Cody January?
Yes.
Bro, detective/porn star? Who's Cody January?
Yeah, just a gritty guard on the Cactus Shadows high school football team.
Dude, my aunt, rest in peace, Aunt Shirley, who anytime I'd say I love you, go, all right. And she would never say it back. And so, but she was dating a guy when my uncle passed. They were married for 65 years, dating a guy in her home named Dick Justice. And I go, Shirley, because she goes, I have a sometimes boyfriend. I go, what does that mean? She goes, sometimes we hold hands. I go, that's fucking so cute. And I go, what's his name? She goes, Dick. I go, I didn't ask why you were dating him. She goes, oh, stop that. and then I go, I got to meet Dick Justice. She goes, you can't. He passed away 3 days ago. And I was like, what the fuck? And she goes, that's my life. I make friends and then they die. Talk to you later, you know. But Cody January is a great name, dude.
Phenomenal name.
But so don't forget where I was. Who sent me the link? This is what I said on stage. I go, I'll never forget who sent me the link for 2 Girls, 1 Cup and where I was on 9/11. And I go, that's sad. Both just a horrible tragedy, you know. And it got about as much laughs as it's getting right now. But but it's true. But I mean, that was a wild. Fuck, that was wild. We don't have to talk about it anymore. But
9/11 or 2 Girls, 1 Cup? We can talk about both if you want.
You know what? Let's save it for part 2 when Phil comes on.
There we go.
No doubt.
There we go.
Now, let me ask you this:
doubt
Are you guys
about it.
big Halloween guys, or is this just? Are you going to do a big bang on
Massive,
Halloween?
right there.
Massive Halloween.
Dude, I
Spooktober,
fucking
bro.
love that, dude.
You
Embrace the
actually
spook.
mess with Halloween?
Oh, love it, dude.
Give me your top 3 holidays.
Oh, fuck, dude. You know, as much as I guess Jew. But
So
I
you're
love
a Hanukkah guy.
I'm a Hanukkah guy.
Happy New Year, by the
I
way.
like the way you
Yeah,
said
Happy
that.
New
Will.
Year.
Yeah. So you're a Hanukkah guy, huh? All right, we can wrap the show up.
Yeah.
No, Hanukkah's great. Hanukkah's great. It's 8 days. The Passover is a great holiday because it's very. If you do a loosey-goosey version of it, as far as going through the book and the story, there's a lot of symbolism with the foods, but it's a real fun dinner party hang, and that's like what's great about it. And Jews are big on family fucking and doing good deeds, you know, and mitzvahs as we call them. And so, but Christmas, dude, love that time of year. You know, all the music, being home. And my wife she's from Arizona, so when she went up to Seattle for like the holidays and got to be around, you know, AZ, it's like beautiful in December. So she's in like true fall weather for Thanksgiving and Christmas. She's all about it and she wants to go back up there. But Halloween is up there for sure. The Halloween parties, I mean, first time I did mushrooms was a Halloween party at my frat AEPI in at USC and was on mushrooms for the first time. And that was one of the greatest nights of my life. I was dancing with a girl. She was, grinding on me. I thought I started coming in my pants. I walked away and she like turned around and even like, must have been making the face of like, you guys can't hold it. We're so fucking, dude, we're such idiots. Like I couldn't act cool and be like, yeah, like I can control what's happening. I couldn't. So I was just like, and she was so then she like turned back. I think she was like dancing harder, like knowing that I was going like, fucking Beetlejuicing. And then she walked away like mission accomplished. Like, I'll send you the bill. And I go upstairs and I go to a buddy of mine and he's like, are you all right? And I had probably just started tripping. And I was like, dude, I'm freaking out, man. I just fucking thought I came in my pants. And by the way, feel completely dry. I was like, I thought I came, I didn't. So now what? I'm questioning everything now. And then he goes, dude, come in and watch we watched some MTV music videos. Alanis Morissette's Ironic was on. Fucking the beginning starts. I just started fucking crying. And then it was just, and I went back out and then, I think I had smoked some weed and that kind of balanced things out. But trick-or-treating is a lot of fun, dude. I went as a bird. My second grade, my mom went to Goodwill and got me a bird costume, but it wasn't even like from anything. Like you're thinking, oh, were you Big Bird? Were you Tweety Bird? Were you fucking Woody Woodpecker? No, dude, just a fucking orange bird with purple. Purple. Oh, God, the outfits. I wish. I gotta find it and post it, dude. Purple bird, big feathers, and I was a big kid. You're like, how big, dude? Well, my coach in basketball called me Krispy Kreme Abdul-Jabbar. So how fucking fat do you think that is? Mom and I shared a bra. So I was a big kid, dude. I actually want to say I'll put a number to it. I think 170 in the 4th or 5th grade.
Holy shit, bro.
The unit.
Yeah.
Dude, before Randy Johnson, dude. It was fucking Adam Ray. Packing
awesome.
heat
I love the
and
Arizona
packing
reference,
penis
by the
and
way.
tits. What's that?
Love the Arizona reference. I'm from Arizona.
Dude, what part?
Cave Creek, Arizona, north of Scottsdale.
Bro, that's where they lived, in Cave Creek, off the Cave Creek Highway.
Shut the fuck yes.
bro.
What high school?
Cactus Shadows High School. The only one in the whole school district.
I think she went there.
She might have gone to Pinnacle.
Nope. Cactus Shadow sounds
Shut
familiar.
the fuck
How old
up.
are you?
I'm 33 years old.
She's 29.
Oh,
If you fuck my wife,
was she a
I'm
freshman?
gonna fucking, dude. If
Hey,
you, dude,
was
this
she a
is how
freshman when you were?
this is how quick
What's
this
going on
podcast
here, huh?
takes a turn, dude. Wait,
Podcast, the wildest turn this podcast could possibly take.
wait.
Say, did you ever hook up with an Under Armour All-American in high school?
You mind if I call her?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Sweetheart.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
How'd it go?
I'm still on the podcast, but Taylor went to Cactus Shadows High School, and he's from Cave Creek. That's one of the hosts. Didn't you go to Cactus Shadows?
Whoa, yeah.
And I just said to him,
What
like,
years?
well, I said, you're 29. And I go, he goes, I'm 33. And then there was a beat, and I go, if you fuck my wife, this podcast is over. Babe, do you know,
Wait,
Taylor,
what's
what's
Taylor's last name?
Lawan.
Lawan?
No.
Damn.
Thank fucking God, babe.
Dude sucks.
Whoa. This is tonight's Doritos moment of the pod. Thank fucking God. Gotta be honest, my heart was racing, and it wasn't the cold brew or the Zin they made me eat. They peer pressured me
Oh, yeah,
into
did you
eating
think
it.
that
all, babe.
Lucy,
You
Lucy
saw that
Breakers. Lucy
Lucy,
Breakers.
Lucy.
God,
Sorry, we'll edit
that's
this
so
out.
funny.
And the Lucy they gave me.
She went to Cactus Shadows, though?
I love Lucy, not just a show, huh?
She went to Cactus Shadows for real?
Yeah, babe, Cactus Shadows, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up at?
Dude, that's my wife.
I grew up in Rio Verde, and then I moved to like the Cave Creek area when I was 15, but I graduated in 2014.
Yeah, so your wife grew up on a ranch. She's in the sticks of Rio Verde.
Oh, bro, the boonies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally 45 minutes from anything.
What class were you?
All right, babe, I love
class
you.
2009.
All right, have fun.
I'll call you after.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
So she was an 8th grader when you were a senior.
Yeah. She probably went to like, there's only 2 middle schools in that whole district.
Yeah.
I love AZ.
It's awesome.
And big unit, former Mariner, but then went to you guys and obviously like took things up a notch. AZ rules. I went there when my folks split. Thanks for bringing it up. I went down there in 95. And when the Mariners, had their spring training before they saved baseball in Seattle, you guys are sports fans. I don't know if you followed that in 95.
Not a big baseball or basketball podcast.
It's just football, right?
We're one dimensional.
All good, bro.
Yeah. But your parents got divorced, as you were talking?
Yeah. So I went down to AZ.
What happened there?
Cheated. He was a doctor.
Adultery.
Hooked up with a nurse. Let's see what else. Hooked up with a nurse. Moved to AZ. Then moved to Kwajalein, then Midway Island, then Santa Fe, then Laughlin, Nevada.
What
and
were your
now
parents running from?
Bro, that's my dad moving around to like different VA clinics to try to like make money and send it back. Yeah.
Oh,
But
no
also
shit.
the cops. Yeah. He was
fair enough.
making fentanyl brandies and selling them to MILFs.
Oh,
in
before it was
Rancho
cool.
Cucamonga. Yeah, before. No, it was still cool.
Was
Yeah,
it?
We've just been late to the game.
Okay.
Yeah. But so big unit, I go down there. I'm walking. My dad lived in Glendale. And I was like 123 every day. So one thing, I love AZ, but that heat is wild.
Brutal.
And I
Way
would
too
walk
hot.
to the Arrowhead Mall and just drenched in sweat. But young fat Adam was like looking to burn cows. Back to the bird story. Dressed as a bird. Fat bird. I'm out there, by the way, playing. Dude, not too far off, adjust the face a bit.
Bobby Lee in his costume.
So that's Bobby Lee if he was an up. And so
If he was an up.
And so I'm every kid's dressed up as a ninja turtle, a cop, a robber, a cowboy. So we're out at recess, 2nd grade, and like, bro, I kid you not, I'm like, what are we playing, guys? Because you're in costume, you still want to play at recess. And they're like, playing, Cowboys versus Turtles. And they're like, you can stand up in that tree and be on lookout like a fucking owl, you fat fucking Tweety bitch, And that was the principal saying that to me. And so here's the worst part. Here's what I'm getting at. They would make the 1st through 4th grade parade their costumes through the 5th and 6th grade classes. So you can only imagine the embarrassment.
Yeah.
So and there was a hat on the bird costume. So like this, imagine pulling that bird face all the way down, and then my eyes were through the like the beak. So the beak was like covering right here, and like the eyes were through it, and then the eyes were here, I could look through the beak. And I'm waddling through. And I remember just waddling through this class, and you got all these cool costumes. And I hear the 5th and 6th graders laughing. And they're like, dude, who the fuck's in that bird outfit? That's the fattest fucking bird I've ever seen. Dude, and like that bird's got tits. I mean, dude, it was wild, dude. And I remember just going to my mom being like, this is the worst costume you could have ever picked,
Oh, shit.
She's like, how
do you recover from that?
Bro, you don't, dude. You become a comedian.
That's how it started. That's the origin story.
Honestly, it's probably not too far off.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, dude.
My mom would just put like this webbing on me, and I would just be like a dead football player or a dead baseball player.
Really?
Yeah. I was the Ultimate Warrior one year.
Ooh.
Homemade costume.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
My mom would make my costumes too. For 2 years in a row, I was an employee of the Titanic. not Rose or Jack. Just
Wait.
employee.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Just not even one of the guys playing the
Just had
violin when
a
they passed
fun
away.
hat, and I had a coat that my mom got at Goodwill. She like sewed on some buttons on
Awesome.
it. It was sick. It
We
actually
got-
was probably my favorite costume of all time.
Yeah, were you guys poor?
We were all yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You whatever you say, I'm going to say
Wasn't-
yeah because
yeah.
you just said you were an employee on the Titanic. That's a fucking
Yeah.
stretch of a
My
costume.
mom was a wizard with a sewing machine.
Also, awesome. Also, very creative though.
yes,
Because here's the thing: when you want to set your kid, I mean, as much as the teasing, took a toll. At least it was like a different thing. Like, it's like there were no other fucking birds with boobs. So
yeah.
so she had that going for her.
Dog, and the thing
That was
too
you,
is
huh?
that essentially not that well done. Not that well done, but that's
That's young Hitler.
very, very close.
You're just a wizard back there with the AI, huh?
Yeah,
Sherman?
for
I was just
real,
about to say,
dude.
Sherman, you're killing it.
It might be the best invention.
Sherman's like that.
Sherman, is it Sherman, right?
Sherman.
Dude, I got let me just say this real quick. Kids, you can smoke weed and have a short-term memory. I do these, meet and greets after shows for free, which there might come a time when I run out of energy. They're now taking 90 minutes to a couple hours after the show.
Gotta
It's a little
feel good.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great because I did it, man, when 20 people stayed, So it's just like the same muscle, just more people. And again, when they're coming to the shows and they're like, dude, this one couple, I was just in Naples, just got out before Milton, and they had a miscarriage like fucking 5 months ago. The wife's like, I haven't smiled in fucking 5 months. You're our favorite comic. We came out. We're like, we're not going to not come out. Hugged, talked for a while, whatever. That shit, you gotta, not that every, and then the next person's like, I'm fucking, dude, I'm on ecstasy. That show was fucking wild. So like,
Yeah.
it's the yin and the yang, but but it means something. It's just, you gotta do
No,
it.
that's really cool.
And, but so, people will come up and it'd be a guy that I maybe talked to during the crowd. And I'm like, Dave, right? And he's like, the fuck? That was the beginning of the show. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's wild. And so every time I do it, I'm like, all right, dude. When I get to a point to where I'm like, Scotty, Samsonite, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I gotta stop smoking pot. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But up until
You got a beautiful brain still.
dude,
You can
it's
still
maybe
do
it's
it.
maybe it's
bro.
adding to it.
Yeah.
It's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, dude.
And this is one of those pods too that are like seamless. Like you just say one sentence and then you just
Well,
go.
he asked himself questions.
Yeah, sorry.
He goes,
Yeah,
oh, you guys, that's what my
fills
parents
in
did
the
this,
gaps
and he
for
just
it.
goes
Bro,
into it.
and please tell me if I'm talking too much.
No,
It's too many parts.
this is
I think I've done too
you're
many
literally
pods.
just doing us a favor
Let
because
me
we
talk.
are sitting
Shut the
here.
fuck up, Taylor.
You're
Let me
right.
talk.
My fault. My fault.
I think no, I'm joking, dude. I think it's too many pods of where you have to like, I think starting out carry the load, and I think I've now, and then going on pods like Kill Tony or Corolla, where like you got to be active, dude. So
Yeah.
it's like, but I gotta, It's
No,
your guys',
you're
it's your guys'
crushing
show.
it.
I don't
You
want
are
to.
No,
fucking
that's not
crushing
an
it,
that's
bro.
not an invitation
All
for you to stop talking.
right.
You literally you just keep doing exactly what you
Tell
do.
us
By the way,
about-
thank God you didn't fuck my
Tell
wife.
me
Keep
about
going?
comedians you hate.
Yeah.
First thought, Dane Cook. Do you like him? 17 years in the game. I heard a lot of bad things about him. I loved him in middle school.
Bro, I don't. There are a few people. Hate's a strong word, dude. There's a few people I don't like. Hates. You know what? I can confidently say I've never wasted time hating somebody.
Beautiful.
Have there been people where I'm like, oh, you're bad for comedy? Fuck yeah, dude. I'll give you a 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
Where you're just a bad person. You're bad business wise. You talk shit. You're just like, what are you doing?
Right.
It's tough enough, dude. It's so fucking tough to get anything going, I mean, the amount, dude, having some a nice bump right now and like shows being packed and getting to do this tour and it's all fun. And really now it's all on me to like get sleep and not fucking, smoke too much at night and blow my pipes out. But it's like, it's on you, dude. And it's really to go out of your way to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people
Right,
like that,
put energy
you're like,
into the negative
yeah,
way,
you're
yeah.
just like, it's, but there are some people that.
You said you were going to give us 4 or 5?
Oh, you want me to give them to? Oh, this. You guys get this from Bert? Bert
What's
loves
that?
it. Kreischer to talk shit about comics. Bert's always like, who do you hate? Who do you hate?
Who do you hate?
Bert's a fuck. Bro,
No,
let me say.
you're doing this podcast exactly like Bert does it too.
really?
Will and I will say 15 words the whole time.
Fuck. Well,
No, you enjoy it. We
yeah, but
enjoy
people
this.
hate when Bert do that, right?
No,
Okay.
people on the internet do, but I love it personally. Personally, I love
us.
Bert.
Yeah, Bert is the man.
People can talk shit all they want. That's got to be.
Bert's story. I mean, dude, when you've lived a cool life like Bert has, don't you want to hear him tell all these stories and like
Yes.
opinions and thought like he's done like
And
the
he
guy has
genuinely
been.
loves it too.
Thank you, dude. What a challenge. I look at him too, and I just told him this when I saw him a little bit ago. Like the Fully Loaded thing was wild, dude. I did about 4 dates on it. Using your namesake and what you've created to bring together people that like don't ever get to hang out and be on the road and make some cash and do some shows and like it was so fun, dude. And not and everybody is so in their lane trying to do their own shit. So that's why it's cool when people kind of, expand something like that to go, let's, again, like just throwing darts and trying to create. I mean, he's always coming up with ideas, dude. And it's pretty cool.
So he hate.
Dude, Sherman is looking at me a little too
Sherman,
much.
Sherman actually, he's people on the bus.
Close your eyes and your mouth, dude. Whoa, that was fucking quick.
He's been beaten to submission.
I love you.
He's been beaten to submission.
Who do I hate?
The reason why I brought that, I even said Dane Cook in the beginning, is middle school Taylor was all about Dane Cook. I think all of us. All of us went through a big Dane Cook phase. But you start to see these clips, like Dave Chappelle had one where he was doing something, and like, hey, only do a hard 10 because this is Dane's night. And then at the end of the 10, he's like, hey, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do a meet and greet after. And the whole place left, and Dane's night was ruined. So just you kind of hear these stories about Dane Cook kind of being a certain way. I don't know if you've had any experiences like that, but personally, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think Dane has... I was a huge fan of his when I came up. Like, there are certain people... Eddie Murphy was the first. Delirious was the first stand-up I saw when I go, oh, man, that looks so fun, Sinbad was the first stand-up I remember watching. My dad showed me, where I was like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. What is that? What is this? Like, I didn't know what stand-up was. Delirious made me kind of want to do it. And then, I listened to, I think, Vicious Circle, and then got to LA, and then was like, at the Laugh Factory doing open mics, and then I'd get on shows that he was on, and then he'd get to know me, and then did a few dates with him. And like, he's an intense guy, for sure. He definitely, it's not everybody has that bug in them to want to, like, and this is not an essential requirement of comedy, but like being, again, kind and hanging out goes a long way. And some people just don't. I think he also got so big so quick. He skipped comedy clubs. He went from like doing his spots, as far as like headlining, like doing a weekend at Zanies, he never did, because he went right to theaters and colleges and was like making bank, and then college theaters to arenas or theaters, and then so he kind of skipped a step as far as being able to connect and be around and have the hang.
Right.
But then I'll say too, like, as I got to know him, he wasn't doing it even when he was still big. So it's like, and now I think and again, that's not a knock. It's just some people, and he's talked about being socially, ridden with anxiety or whatever. So I, very understanding of that.
It's a fight with those spider webs.
Yeah, dude.
It's a war.
The attention to detail in here is, what if Sherman was just a fucking robot, dude? And you're like, yeah, we got a Halloween robot from CBS.
He might be.
Sherman, dude, could you look at me under that hat a little bit more like you're not going to stab me in my cock when I sleep tonight? Oh, tongue out, Jordan style. I just watched The Last Dance again, too. Yeah, so there's no, it's not required to have to be a chum to everybody, but like it does. I mean, dude, I'm not that way where I can just come in and go. Even at comedy clubs, I walked into this club in Naples, and they've got a huge staff, got big menus, so a lot of moving parts, but probably 30 people moving and shaking, like in the kitchen and waiters and bartenders. And I'm walking around, I go, what's up? I give a couple bumps, what's your name? Oh, cool, what's your name? And I've always done that. Again, even when I was selling fucking 10 tickets, because it feels weird to me to go into a place and just act like they're not there. And then also when you get to know the staff, then you're like, oh, they have your back a little bit more to like make the whole weekend great, right?
Right.
So, but some people just don't fucking do that. And there's no right or wrong answer. I only know what I've done, but I don't think he's a bad guy. And I, have had some fun chats with him and times where I am like, oh, I bet he wishes he would have kicked it more, because who knows where. I mean, he's still doing big theaters, and he's still got all his fans. But
is he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. On a theater tour now, I think. But so again, it's not, I don't know. And it goes back to the being kind thing, dude. If you like, but again, if people don't, there's some people in our business that like they're comfy on stage and they're not comfy off. So if you need to, or you're just like, I'm doing my set and I'm going home because then I'm going to like work. But like I had to, early on, some comics told me that like fucking hang out a bit. And so I'd, I have to strap on the Wolverine claws at fucking 9 a.m. and talk to, people from overseas. There was these sometimes I'd talk to, I was in Wolverine costume, Greg Maddox, Dave Matthews, fucking John Stamos, and fucking, I saw Michael Jackson walk in there with a fucking sheet with his kids one time. And when I was a New York cop and I blew my whistle and was like, hey, slow down, you're going too fast. And he fucking just like kind of turned and like, just, you know, I was like, oh shit. And I saw a little bit of the face, you know? And, yeah, man, I mean, like you guys, it's why people want to come on your guys' show too, man. Cause you're outwardly like, you know, chummy, and you want to, you know, you seem inviting.
You want to have a fun time.
It matters, man. You know, and if you put up a vibe where you're not doing that, then people aren't gonna fuck with you.
Right. It seems like you tell a good origin story for your first time you jerked off.
Bro, let's go.
Let's take it back.
And then you were wondering about like the bus and how it started. Our first like 20 episodes.
Today's okay. So September 15th, I sat down. I go, you know what? Now's as good a time as any. You know, I've been with this dick for 42 years. Let's fucking see what happens. So it was about 3.5 weeks ago.
The first time?
No, dude.
Of course not. I want to hear young
Cody
middle school
January
Adam Ray. Yeah. 2 girls, 1 cup. You hated the video,
bro,
but
it was
something
actually,
in you was like,
and this is OG Bussin. Like this would always be a staple question.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think the first time I remember, I think I got a hand job before I jerked off.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
you're kind of the man.
Is that cool?
Like that. Yeah, do you kidding me?
Oh, dude, that was awesome. I didn't know how that was going to come out or be received.
You got way cooler in our book because I feel like all of us, I was like 200 in before a girl even looked at me.
Well, look, again, like dad, that's my brother's now a doctor. Look at me, dude, putting hair on his chest. He was so fucking funny. I showed him Family Guy when he was 7. He's got an amazing sense of humor now. I mean, it's unbelievable. Dude, show your kids the good shit when they can absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was not nervous, just didn't. It's not like your dad teaches you. It's not like, my dad left, so I didn't have a dad to fucking show me how to spank it. No, it was like, I just didn't. But yeah, a hand job was probably fucking 13, 14.
All right.
Is that still? I don't know.
You got to be thinking too, like, what's about to happen right now?
Bro, it was wild. I can almost still tap into the feeling of it. It was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening, you know, hands free. It was happening then, it's happening now. But yeah, that was wild. And I remember who it was. Crazy, dude. I actually did think about.
Wait, you don't remember who it was?
I do. Oh yeah, yeah. Because there's certain people you'll look for on Facebook from time to time, just to kind of like. There was a girl in my.
How are they doing out there?
How they doing?
Yeah.
And there was a girl in our 4th, 5th grade split named Jenny Taylor, and she thought she was a cat, and she would like.
Oh, gee.
And she would like scratch our teacher, Mrs. McQuay, R.I.P. She would scratch her. Her parents were like. She was 4'6" or 4'2". Her parents were like 5 feet. They were like little gnomes. Her dad had a giant beard. They were scientists, and they would come in every year and do like they'd be like, can anyone spell riboplasm? And we were like, dude, fuck off, dude. We're in 5th grade, dude. We're all trying to get hand jobs in 8 years, you know? And so, but Jenny, I would look for Jenny from time to time shortly after that when Facebook popped off, and I was like, dude, where? No trace. So. But Facebook's good for that, to find the old
find out what's
going
on.
The old flings.
The old flings, yeah. What about you guys? You've already talked about this. Your first time.
Mine was in my bathroom on my toilet. Or was it in the shower? I think that might have been the second time. That's when I experienced shampoo, my second time. Very young in the game.
Boy, that is
you
a
find out
bold
the wrong
move.
way. Yeah, you find out the wrong way, the hard way.
That's like watching a movie with subtitles on.
Yeah.
You're just like, dude, this is not the way it's supposed to be enjoyed.
But my foot started shaking and my toes started pointing when it started happening, and you're kind of scared for a second. But everything is like, oh shit, how do I do that again? And then the second time around, I thought I was doing it, but then I just started peeing. I'm like, okay, I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Wow, wait, you were jerking off and pee came out before you?
Yeah, was rocked up and thought I was about to go, but then I realized I just got in the shower and I just started peeing on the wall. But I was like, okay.
Wait, that's not it.
I got a lot of questions. Well, how does your body, get like you're hard, so you're right, you're jerking off, and then come. So pee just was like, whoa, we got this, and then pee just went out first.
Yeah. Oh no, not pee went out first, and then the cum. This feels like very weird.
No.
Don't
do you understand
like that?
Do you understand what I'm asking though? So you were jerking. You jerked off.
I was jerking, but then I started peeing, thinking like, okay, it's about to come again. Because again, I had only experienced one time. It's like, what's happening to my body? I thought it was about to happen again, but I just started peeing naturally because I was in the shower.
Did you know? You can obviously differentiate between the feelings of coming and peeing, right?
Right.
So you weren't. You weren't jerking off going like, fuck, dude, how am I going to tell my friends my piss has come? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I just, I
whatever it
realized
is.
like, oh, I'm just peeing. Like, I just got to keep going. That's when I grabbed the shampoo, learned the hard way.
Okay, so you were like, I'm not my dick isn't respecting what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, we're just gonna pee at this point until you step up to the streets
yeah,
and
figure
really
out what's going on.
treat us like
Yeah.
like a lady. Yeah,
Just a war. It is hard finding out. For me, you brought up Jared from Subway. I could have easily been a victim of one of those gentlemen.
For real. You're
Yes,
a cute
dude.
kid.
I didn't think as a child that you could do it yourself. I thought like a girl had to do it for you. Otherwise, it just would not happen. So I actually was at my grandparents' house and I was in
Wow.
chat rooms getting advice.
Oh my
How to
God,
do it.
dude.
This is a great story, Taylor.
nothing happened there. Nothing happened there. But then I was in on my school bus and I heard these like 8th graders talking in the back how they're jerking off a bunch. I'm thinking, oh fuck, like you can really do this yourself.
Wow.
So I like went to my mom's apartment, popped on the LimeWire, and just started
LimeWire.
FrostWire,
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out
yeah,
LimeWire.
all
Good
just giving
pull.
my computer AIDS and
Yeah,
slowly
bro,
just.
every
It was like a. I didn't,
Great logo.
you know now, like if you want to get it done, you can do it under a minute for yourself,
Easy.
no problem. For me, I like kind of made a night out of it. Like I was just kind of tugging on it and figuring out what was going on. Then literally my right leg started seizing, and then my left leg, and then it was just like I got panicked and I yelled my mom. I yelled for mom, and then I ended up all over the keyboard.
Oh,
It was
my God.
It was the greatest to this day.
Good
Yeah.
times,
To
man.
this day.
Yeah, it's it'll never. What's the longest you guys have gone? Without-
Jerking it?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about a solid goon sesh.
Oh,
You're
did you
talking
think I
about
meant
gooning.
like?
Are
how
you
long
talking
did
about like, are we edging in this situation, or you're just saying how long
My
we
bad.
got
Let me
abstained
rephrase.
from?
Let
Yeah.
me rephrase.
Let's unpack this entire thing. We need more
Can we turn the
direct
cameras
questions.
on this time? Let's record this for real.
Yeah, okay.
I know this was a
Let's start
warm-up.
the show
Yeah, let's start
right
the show.
now.
3, 2, 1. What's the longest you've gone without masturbating? Week,
Months?
months? Yeah, months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
months.
Yeah,
Wow. On purpose.
I went through a
Yeah.
football season. I went through a football season in college. I was like, I'm
'Cause
going
you
to keep all this pent up.
Wow.
Senior year.
Makes the
Wow.
legs weak.
Yeah.
Did it have an impact?
No. I
Bummer.
learned after that season, like, I'll never do that again. Because you just get mad.
Well, I want to say
that's
they
me in college.
I want to say they debunked
Wow,
that myth
dude,
on
look
like
at you,
I
dude.
want,
call
hey,
it-
one of the schools I wanted to go to, USC. Bad.
Fuck, dude.
USC, Texas, or LSU were like my 3 schools I
Not a
wanted.
bad
in
consolation
high school.
prize, right?
Yeah. No, it ended up working out, and I'm happy I went to Michigan. But
Where
I went to an all-star camp and met Pete Carroll, and I was crushing. And then they brought Pete Carroll
USC
over,
was the
and
spot,
the offensive line coach called Pete Carroll over during one-on-ones. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's about to happen. Because this kid named Kevin Graff actually got offered. And I was like, I might be the next one. Got dusted in 2 one-on-ones, rolled my ankle. And I was kind of on the ground. And I look up at Pete Carroll, and he looks over the O-line coach, he goes, and walked away.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of
and
here,
that was
dude.
the end of that. That's me.
You saw him do that?
I saw him do that. I either saw it or I dreamt it, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt real to me in that
Isn't
moment.
that shitty, dude? Because it's like, you know, to
We
have
could have
one
both been
moment, like,
Trojans.
I know. Fuck, dude. Yeah, you would have loved it there.
And like 2 years after I was at Michigan, that's when Will Ferrell was doing all his skits.
Oh, yeah.
When he would
Will
jump-
coming out?
yes.
Will, Snoop, and I heard that Pete would bring all these celebs to practice because he was like, he's like, it's the same thing when guys when there's pretty girls there that like nobody wants to fuck up.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm going to bring all
You
these like
play well
studs
in front
around
of
so
them,
that
yeah.
people like try hard. I mean, not that they weren't anyway, but he was like, why don't we have the advantage of having, and they want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why not make it as competitive as possible?
totally.
No fucking doubt.
Yeah.
And so what's your association with Seattle? Pete Carroll went there or you lived there?
So I grew up there from,
Okay.
born
Because you
and
said
raised.
something about living in Arizona too, in Glendale.
Yeah, I just went there for a couple
And then you said
summers
something
with my
about
dad.
Nevada as well. So you
Nevada, my
see-
dad, that was where he moved around to. Yeah,
Gotcha,
sorry.
gotcha.
So grew up in Seattle, moved
Fentanyl.
to LA, the fentanyl, yeah. And 2001 went to LA to go to college, and then I've just been out there since. So graduated in 05, started stand up in 2007, and then but Pete went to Seattle, so that's why it was such a big, you know. I mean, a lot of
moment.
SC people were bummed. They were like, he's slipping out the back door, fucking whatever. You know, the timing was wild, but also he wanted a
perfect move by
Perfect
him.
move. You got to make those moves.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to say I don't think he knew what was going on, but I think, I mean, he's a fucking rock star of a human. So whether he knew or was like, I don't want to know, but the opportunity was, the timing makes it look bad because he wanted that type of a situation as far as like, you know, president and then like you know, like where he could have a lot of say and control of the team. He wanted to go somewhere where he could really run the show. And so how about that? He could go 2 hours north and it was awesome, dude. I mean, right away. And I went with Bert when he played Climate Pledge at Seattle Arena. He hit me up and was like, do you want to come do Seattle? We're going to go to the Seahawks camp the day before. And it was unreal, dude. And it's like we got to catch punts and talk to Pete. And this was about 3 months before he got fired because the season was almost halfway through. We were, I think, 6-2 or 5-1 to start that year. And then, it just went south, and then that was a wrap. I got to know John Schneider, the Seahawks GM, that time, and he came to the show that night, and we drank till 4 a.m. And then I got on a flight and went to do shows in Savannah, Georgia, with my buddy Sal from the Jokers at like 6 a.m. and fucking leaving Schneider, and he was like, "Just crashing my house, man," which I have now done. Schneider and I are now fucking awesome boys, and Bert fucking put that together. I'm gonna go speak to the team. I think it's Dr. Phil in December, and then he just is a savvy fucking football guy and throws them back, dude.
That is awesome.
And so we toured the whole thing and Dr. Gino and DK, and it was awesome, man. And it was all Bert's generosity, but Pete was so cool, man, and it was just wild to see him so in his element, like dancing around practice, and then you're like, dude, and then just gone, dude.
And then you realize he's 70. Like, he's so old.
There's no signs of his age, but
because he's out there and rips it around too at practice.
Rips it around.
Yeah,
I heard he was like, he'd be in
viral.
team meetings, like get the basketball hoop out in the basketball, like just have fun.
And that's what's interesting about like his coaching style was now Mike McDonald is such a like militant, like we have a job. Here's what you're doing. There's no, I guess he's still keeping things light because he got to, but none of this shit anymore. None of the basketball during meetings and it sucks because these guys that would like, when Sherman started talking shit about Pete, they didn't pay him, they let him go, and it was like, fuck, man, you got paid twice, maybe 3 times. They drafted you deep. They gave you full-on opportunities like probably other organizations wouldn't have, but I don't know. It just something an approach like Pete that he had, I think, obviously was going to run its toll.
Yeah,
right. You tell me.
But also give the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the goal line.
Yeah, dude, whoa.
Bro. That it's wild that, dude. I think time does heal a little bit, but like that'll be the Sonics. Again, you're not big basketball guys, but the Sonics in '94 were the best team in basketball, and Jordan was retired at the time. And we were like number 1 seed in the West, and we were playing the 8 seed Denver Nuggets. And then it was when Mutombo, RIP, famously, they beat us basically in the first round. And he was holding the ball and like clinching it on the ground, screaming. And I fucking cried, dude, because basketball was my favorite sport at the time. When the Sonics left, it fucking, I forgot about it. But yeah, there it is right there. That picture, two over to that middle. Yeah, it was that picture, like we were just fucking like, because we were supposed to go to the NBA Finals. Jordan was gone and we had the best team. So Marshawn, dude, I went to the Super Bowl with little Brad Williams. He's a Broncos fan. Our teams were pretty hot at the start of the season. We were like, if we go, we got to go. So we scheduled shows out there, got tickets on StubHub, went, fucking, it was unbelievable. Like at one point, it was, I think, 22-0, I think at half. And Brad's like, dude, we're fine. We just got to get points. One score back into this. Percy runs it back. I have a picture of me. I'm not sure if I posted it, of me going like this because Brad's like fucking like looking out at the field, so sad. And I take a picture of me going like, with Brad being sad. And I texted it to him during the game because now it was 29-0. And he goes, if a dwarf cries at the Super Bowl, everybody gets AIDS, right? And I was like, fuck. And it's just so funny. And then the next year I was like, all right, tickets are too expensive. They were wild. I think we ended up getting StubHub. They dropped to like $1,200, I think. And for the AZ game, it was like no ticket went below, I don't know, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Hotel, a Holiday Inn Express was like $2,000 a night. And so I went to Seattle, drove my dad up from Oregon where he was living, and my buddy's condo. We were in like the main, the common room, like, 2 floors up. And about 50 people, big ass party. We were like, dude, I want to be in Seattle because I want to party in the streets when we win the Super Bowl. I was pretty confident. You never know, but like, we just felt fucking good, dude. We're like, dude,
Legion and Boom.
Legion and Boom. And we were injured
Had a
as
squad.
fuck, dude. As I've got to know some Hawks, like, dude, Sherman in that game against the Packers that how do you win that? Had, a dislocated, I think, elbow or hyperextended elbow. Cam Chancellor had fucked up knees. Earl Thomas had some rib shit. Jeremy Lane ends up breaking his arm after he picked Brady, like 2 plays later. So, like, we were depleted, dude. And, but then we were up 10, and then you're like, fuck, dude. And then that catch by Curse they do a cutaway to David Tyree against the Pats back in the day, which was like so, awesome because you're like, oh, cool. They're kind of being like, dude, the Pats just can't catch a break, man. Cool catch after cool catch. And I'm sitting there with my dad and again, 50 people in there. We're having a fucking amazing time. Everyone's being like, I had to do this voiceover job the next morning and I texted one of the producers. I was like, dude, is there any way we can push this session to 1 instead of 10? Because I'm going to be out of my mind tonight. Like I'm gonna be in the streets of my fucking hometown with my best buds and like wild, dude. And Marshawn runs the ball up and gets stopped. And on my stomach, I'm not even joking you, just fucking drops, dude. He gets stopped at the 1 and I was like, I go, oh. And my dad goes, what? I go, I don't know, man. I feel like we needed to get it on that one. He goes, what does that mean? And I go, I don't know, man. But fuck, dude. Because he was going, dude, and just tripped up, man. And it just was like one of those things where I didn't see that happening. But you know what I'm saying? Where you're just like, it felt like, fuck, we're continuing the opportunities for something to go wrong. And and look, even if you give it to him, there it is, dude. I mean, tripped the fuck up.
There.
And whether you give it to him 3 times and you don't get it, a lot of people say like you live with that. And here's the thing, dude. That play they've done, Russ, that was the worst pass, dude. You throw that shit low, dude. What, right?
You throw that shit
if
low,
we're talking about don't,
you don't want to throw it high for sure. You saw the Thursday night game last night.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I mean, but that is, and again, getting to know some Hawks and what they've told me about it, they go, that ended it, dude. That broke the locker room, dude. It was, Doug Baldwin told me, he goes, if we won that, he goes, we were so tight. He goes, we were so tight, dude. And you had all these guys. I mean, they'd only paid a few guys. They had so many young D players on their rookie contracts, which is why we, that's what the luck of the draw, right? You get these groups where you're like, fuck, dude, we got beasts for a while for free. And Doug was like, dude, we were all like, oh, if we win this, we're running it back. We're winning 3. And he's like, there was no doubt in our mind. He's like, there's no doubt in our mind we were going to win the Denver one. No one picked us. And that first snap, goes over Peyton's head, and then everybody goes nuts. And it was like, and even I saw so much orange in New York City. And then when that snap went over Peyton's head in New York against Denver, the whole stadium went nuts. And we were like, oh, shit, like Seattle traveled for this. But he said that broke the locker room. And it was like nobody trusted Pete and Russ and everyone. Like there was
over one play.
Yeah, dude, isn't that wild?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And they're just not doing your job. Like everybody's like, dude, Marshawn, I think I saw him on some pod. He was like, you just want to be able to do your job and help the team. And I was like, and you didn't let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like like that's what I was there for.
Literally 1 yard.
You can just tell part.
And
of
he was
Adam died.
A part of him died that day. Yeah.
Oh, is that? So and just I guess fill in the blanks on how sad that was, because every Seattle sports fan has their own version of like, and like now you can talk about it whatever, but like without crying. I mean, I'll cry when I get off the bus for sure, but all 50 people that were in this room, bro. I had friends I hadn't seen in probably 8 years. Good friends. How good are they? I haven't seen them in 8 years, but we talk a lot and. Didn't even say goodbye. Just fucking everybody left. I'm not even joking. One of my best friends that set it up, I was going to see him for another 4 or 5 months. No turning around like, dude, what the fuck? All right, I'll call you later. None of that. Yeah. Just he pieced out. I turned around at one point. He was just gone. And then I look over at my dad and he's like, he was just like, he was just like so much guilt. I was just like, you feeling bad for cheating on mom? He's like, no, the game. I was like, oh, shit, okay. But it was a similar type of like, I can't believe. I've never seen a grown man so bewildered. And I don't use that word too often. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just like, you couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And the split second, that's why sports are awesome. I don't get how people don't like sports.
Yeah.
But you got to take the good and the bad. And here's the thing. It's like, that was I was in Seattle the next day in sports radio, and it was a dark, gloomy day, dude. And it was like sports radio. It was sad, dude. And like everywhere,
whispering over the radio.
Everywhere I went, like a coffee shop, a fucking brothel, a KFC Taco Bell combo glory hole. Like everywhere I went, everyone was just like bumming, dude. Isn't that wild?
That's fucking
That's
crazy.
sports.
That's sports.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is.
I mean, do you have an equivalent in any career?
I mean, we got destroyed in the Big Ten championship.
I knew
against
you were going to
Wisconsin.
bring that up.
I mean, we got destroyed. They hung over 70 on us. 3 different running backs ran for like 200 yards. It was like Melvin Gordon, James White,
God.
Monty Ball. That was our senior year. We had 7 fourth quarter comebacks that year. We were 10-2 going into that game. And Ohio State was banned that year for the tattoo stuff. I want to say Penn State, they were in trouble that year. They couldn't go. This was I think this was when it was happening. We played that week that the Sandusky stuff all came out. We went to Penn State and played. But Wisconsin was like the third team in that division, 70? And we beat them earlier in that season. They hung 70 on us, bro, and that was like, you were.
I was at that game,
bro. That's like demoralizing.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we got killed. Look at that, 42 in the first half.
Yeah, you're getting beat
42-10 at halftime. It's like, what do you even say in the locker room?
I mean, that's not insurmountable, but it's. I mean, you guys tell me. I mean,
42-10. You know the game's over.
You asked what kind of memory takes you to a spot like that. Like I think of that game.
See, I only played football up until sophomore year of high school. I was offensive and defensive line, and so I got to play a few, JV, but we suited up freshmen for a varsity game that they destroyed. So we went in at the end just to fucking get some reps. But definitely always got to suit up and go to the games and was on the sidelines for a game where they got blown out and it felt like people were that was not what anybody anticipated, but 70 is
we played Ohio State 2013, I believe it was, and I think the final score was like 42-43 or 42-41.
Fuck.
And we had the ball last, and our head coach Brady Hoke goes, "Hey, when we score, we're going for 2. We're ending this game." So we go down and we scored and we went for 2, and our quarterback threw it right to the defense, and it was over. Brutal.
What the fuck, dude?
I know. That was one of those straight back to the house, case of Ham's Light. Just pound them as fast as you possibly can.
Go.
A full Papa John's pizza.
Numb the pain. Yeah, eat emotionally. It's a horrible feeling.
Close the blinds.
Yeah, there was a big fist fight that game too. One Ohio State guy got ejected.
How close is the football locker room? On a whole, is it cliquey like anything or?
Yeah, it can get cliquey. It just kind of depends on what kind of team you have.
It's
what kind of year you're having.
College has over 100 people on that football team.
Yeah,
100 players.
So there's no way you know everybody.
No, you know everyone, but it's there's definitely tiers, people. It's high school.
Quarterback, offensive line. School. I mean,
the offensive line always. The offensive line traditionally is the best group of guys to be around. They're the most humble. They hang out they're more down to earth cats. I think it's great to be around. But you do have these pockets everywhere, and you're just hoping for a Will Compton, a gatekeeper, to kind of bring everybody together. A Ben Jones, who is our center for the Titans.
Yeah,
he is those are the guys you want around, because then he just brings you from each click to each click and kind of brings the team together.
Let's go.
It's a nice little deal.
I'm going to the Titans game on Sunday. I'm pumped.
Yeah,
never been to the stadium.
How do you feel about it, Colts?
I mean, I haven't been following either. I mean, Flacco.
Underdogs by
Flacco
1.
live. That's kind of fun. That's like seeing
it.
Jordan on the Wizards.
He just threw for 350 and 3 touchdowns.
I know, but they lost, right, to the Jags.
But either way, it's like Flacco's
to the Giants?
out there dealing.
What's that?
They lost to the Giants?
No, they lost to the Jags. The Colts lost to the Jags. But Flacco, man, doesn't get enough credit.
Does
not.
Won the Super Bowl with the Ravens, right?
Yeah, with the Ravens. Speaking of Ravens, that's obviously Stavros.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, his clips on the Ravens
on the bus,
every
man.
game.
Oh,
so he does a thing on Instagram. Every single win or loss, he does a whole video. He has a big Joe Flacco guy. He's so fucking funny. Have you seen these?
No.
Dude, you got to look it up. We don't obviously have volume, but he does these.
Oh yeah,
these hilarious videos.
I know he's a big sports guy. It's awesome.
Something about Joe Flacco.
See, another thing
about Joe. I love Lamar can run the ball, but something about a pocket passer.
Ravens just won in overtime, and Flacco had a good game, so he was still referring to Joe Flacco threw for 350.
Yeah, because the Ravens and the Bengals last week went into overtime.
It was
Joe
a great
Burrow
game.
threw
I remember,
for 5 touchdowns,
and still lost.
And at the end, Stavros is murdering the Bengals. Who Day? Oh, who Day's 1-4? Yeah, they're just going off on them.
Ravens needed that W, by the way.
Cat's funny, dude. Super funny.
Another guy I got to know on the Fully Loaded Fest. Another reason why it's and he I think is going to do one of our Dr. Phil Live theater shows.
Yeah,
but
he's all
late night. They had one of the. Were we at the Hall of Fame in Canton, I think, and where we were staying, the whole after party where the buses were had a pool and just all this, just a dope hang. Big, Bert just goes to the nines with the post show hang, and then so Bert and Stavros and I are just in the pool, just smoking blunts and drinking and just bullshitting and talking comedy and this and that. And at some point, Bert's like, "Who do you guys hate?" And then, but so that's where I got to know Stav, just in the pool like that, and just But yeah, I didn't know he was a sports guy. That's awesome.
Has there ever been a guy in comedy? This is kind of like a dumb, cheeky question,
Yeah,
but has there ever been a guy in comedy that like you thought, I'm not going to like this guy just based off his comedy, and you meet him and you're like, I fucking love this guy?
I'm sure. Because everybody's judged a book by its cover.
No question. But I've also asked you who you hate, so I'd rather switch it up and ask you who you like.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, let me give you who did I think I wasn't gonna like and then did. Not that I was gonna like, but when Todd Barry is super quiet and shy. You know who Todd Barry is?
I do not, but Storm's about to pull him up right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a fucking super funny comic. Just real quiet and shy and kind of like snarky and snappy, and he's just one of the nicest guys. But yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
Kind of looks like Rich Eisen.
Professor Xavier. Yeah.
Who do I like? I mean, dude. Santino's been my boy since we both started.
Santino's so funny.
Santino's hilarious.
One of the best, dude.
We did Bad Friends.
Yeah,
you did.
It's my favorite podcast we've ever done.
I totally am not gonna say why. Yeah, there's another way for me to say that and quicker, but yeah. Agreed. Yeah,
it's all it's solid.
And his clips too with the what's her name, Bobby? What's her last name?
Yeah, Bobby.
The clips that were going around with him and her on the golf course.
Oh, Althoff or whatever.
Yeah.
He crushed that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, Bobby is. It's so funny when Bobby's the first guy I went on the road with for about 3 years and opened for, and really just showed me how you're supposed to be as a headliner, and just was so generous and funny, and then he was like, I think me and Andrew are gonna start a podcast. I was like, oh God. I was like, get ready to fucking buy a second house. I mean, they're just you just knew their energies together.
They had like a million subscribers before like 100 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Just murderous.
And Bobby, and they both had kind of significant followings, and then just mashing them together was.
Dude, Bobby on Mad TV back in the day.
It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
Bro, he does not get enough credit for that.
No.
It's so long ago, and he's now like in this new phase of his career, but
Right.
like, and he still gets love from that. I think people still,
Like
they're
the
still
OG
fans.
yeah.
Totally. But yeah, he was a brilliant sketch actor, dude.
Yeah, him, Will Sasso.
Unreal.
Was it Mike McDonald? Was that his name too? Who did Stewart?
Just texting with him yesterday.
Dude.
Mike is unbelievable, dude.
When I would go home, there would either be Comedy Central on, and that should be playing, or
Yeah.
like CMT with like Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Those are like the two things that are always on.
Bro, yeah.
And I thought that shit was so. I thought it rivaled SNL, honestly.
1000. I was in Living Color guy. That was like what really with Jim Carrey, Jamie Foxx.
No, never.
You never watched Living
never
Color?
Watched
I never
it.
watched that.
Pull that shit up.
Pull it up, yeah.
This was a Fox sketch show that came on after The Simpsons, and I think it was maybe pre-Mad TV. Dude, it's Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, Keenan Ivory. Look at that. David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson. Bro, look into it. Holy shit.
Funny.
Yeah.
That was what made Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx.
Dude, yeah, that's the kind of shit.
There's a character he did named
Vera DeMilo, and she was a workout girl.
and she go, and Jim Carrey, flexible as fuck, Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. He'd do this character, he'd go, fire prevention safety. And so he'd go like, let's just say, every sketch was like, let's just say you're going into the kitchen. You want to make a piece of toast. You put the piece of bread in and the electrical surge goes off. And then all of a sudden he's just burning, like his hand's just on fire. He goes, so you call the police. They don't pick up because who knows what the fuck they're doing, you know? And then he's just, every sketch, it burns to death basically. And he's just got 3rd-degree burns, and yeah, it's hilarious.
Dude, I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Santino, it's my boy, Harland Williams. You guys know Harland?
No.
Do not.
He's a funny dude, man. You know, Half Baked, Something About Mary.
Yeah.
But you guys probably dig comics that like sports, right? Is that kind of the prerequisite to be on the show?
No,
not at all. Not at all.
We're obviously big into sports and stuff like that, but just talking to comics in general, like you starting the show and just talking about flexing the creative muscle, your creativity, the way you get in all that stuff, like all that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to hear those types of things.
Yeah.
It's who's this guy?
William Montgomery.
He's always on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
What's he like in person? Is he pretty much just what he is on stage?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty mellow off stage actually. Yeah, he's kind of he's pretty mellow.
Who's the cat that's always pacing?
It's a heightened character, I think, for the stage for sure. But he's a pretty sweet guy. Say it again.
Who's the guy that's always pacing around and he rambles the entire time on Kill Tony?
Oh, Casey Rocket.
Casey Rocket.
Yeah. What's
his gig? Is he the same guy off?
No, pretty chill. I mean, it's the thing, man. It's like people like, you know, it's like you just want to having a thing on stage, you know, finding your voice is such, it just does take time, but that is a version of who they are for sure. I mean, but not everybody is. You know, I mean, I would hear that Robin Williams was that way on and off stage. You know, who was fucking my guy growing up for sure. But yeah, Cam's a beast. What do you guys consume? I guess like, or when you were playing, like what was like because you know, getting to know a bunch of athletes now, it's wild how many. When I was in Minnesota, a bunch of the Vikings came out because they were all Kiltony fans, they're fan of my Phil shit, and so and they're like, oh yeah, we watch it all the time during like what, and I'm like, so what's your like, what would you guys watch during, I don't know, bus trips or flights or whatever, comedy wise?
What would you get down to?
Film, bro.
Just always in the lab.
In the lab.
This season is a wild deal. It's hard.
You have no downtime, huh?
Well, there's downtime, but there's always like this delusion in you that's like, how can I just be 1% better?
Yeah.
Always.
Or in my free time, it'd be like, we had a Madden League going on in the locker room.
Cool.
So we'd just be playing video games.
We always big on Nintendo 64.
It's got to decompress somehow, right?
Yeah.
Got to. Yeah, and that was always like, we were actually talking about streaming today, and it's like my like game. I don't know if you're a gamer at all, but like I was big
Sports
into
games.
N64, and then really after that, it kind of shut down. I dipped in my toe into Halo a little bit and other games, but like that was, we actually brought that back 2018 when Will came to the Titans.
Oh yeah.
We had the N64 hooked up, and between practice and meetings, it was like get dressed as fast as possible.
Right.
Let's go.
Play as many games as you can. That was definitely our big thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys bond right away when you met?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like
that's where you met. Yeah, on the Titans.
Yeah, there was we played against each other in college.
Yeah.
And then when you were at the Redskins, we played my second year, your third year, 2015.
No, it was my second year.
Okay.
Because by the time we crossed paths on the Titans, like that was my second start.
Got you.
But when you played against each other, you didn't like, you know, did you chat like post game?
It'd be like, hey, good to see you out here. Like a couple white boys just surviving.
Right, and you always remember a white guy named Compton. Like you always remember that.
Always remember,
anytime you kind of go past. But when Will was a free agent, he came to the Titans. There was either a tweet or an article. I can't remember. I always say article, but I might be wrong. That was like based on Will Compton's social media and Taylor just in the media and the antics he does. Like they're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
Whoa!
So and then I saw Taylor get a little gay cup of coffee, and then we bonded over some.
Yeah, hazelnut. I got a hazelnut coffee,
and I was like, "You drink flavored coffee?"
And I was so defeated. I poured it out right there. I was just trying to make such a good first impression.
Like you're gonna hate when you see my flavored Lucy's. Too soon. Wait, that's cool that the media basically announced your friendship before you found it.
Yeah. And then OTP was the first podcast we did, was the official Titans podcast. Like they were just kind of starting it and they wanted me on. I was like, I'm bringing Will. And it was like, what, a weekend of knowing each other?
Yeah.
So we went
just
got
on the team.
Cool.
We would have this thing called
There
Breakfast
you guys are.
Club.
There's a shot of you guys, the first podcast.
Yeah, man. We'd have a thing called Breakfast Club. It'd be me, Will, and Mike Campanaro. Yeah. And Mike was also new to the Titans, and they were all laughing about something one day. And I was like, hey, I want to laugh. What are we talking about? And we would just talk about podcasts, like congratulations, Theo Vonns, Rogan, obviously Rogan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of you guys, man. Yeah. My principal was a raccoon, though. It's my Theo.
That's your Theo.
Yeah.
What a unique individual, by the way.
Bro,
there's any brain.
Another guy I've known
like
since I started comedy, since he started. And always so funny. Same guy. I mean, he's definitely become more of a character. I mean, he's just leaned heavy into, but it's who he is.
Right.
And like when he says wild shit like that, like, man, he and he'll never forget this. We talked about this last time I saw him, where we were in San Diego at the La Jolla Comedy Store together, and we were at breakfast, he and myself and a comedian named Francisco Ramos, and the waiter came by and was being kind of a dick, and Theo was like, man, we got a classic dick breakfast over here. And when we all started laughing, I go, Dick Breakfast, dude, great name for like a fucking like, you know, detective from like the 80s that just whatever. And then we just started riffing and ranting on this guy's story, and then for about 2 months we outlined a movie about Dick Breakfast.
No shit.
It's out there somewhere. I mean, in our emails, but like we were all about it. And then he, you know, and but you know, no surprise, dude. And again, sweet, nice guy to everybody. And arguably gets some of the, I mean, Bad Friends are getting some pretty cool podcasts, you know, with Jack Black and MGK and stuff. But like Theo goes from Papa John to fucking Bernie Sanders to Trump to fucking
wild
to you know.
It's becoming like that Rogan-esque style where he's getting these massive names.
Yeah, just doing it his way.
Just being
talking to Trump about cocaine.
Right.
Like that broke the internet for a day and a half.
Funny, dude.
Right.
Yeah. You brought up a little guest on Bad Friends, MGK. You a fan?
Oh, yeah.
Huge fan of him.
Yeah.
That's,
and
that's
wife,
my genre of music.
Dude, I'm, you know, Jelly Roll and I've got to become good buds, and I'm just biding my time that's somebody he's trying to help get me on the Phil show, because he said getting on Bad Friends was even kind of a big ask, because I don't want to say he said he wasn't like shy, but he just hasn't done a lot of that stuff.
Right. You're talking about
MGK.
Jelly Roll trying to get MGK on.
Yes.
Interesting.
And my wife is obsessed, and I'm just like, yeah.
But he's saying that because Jelly, we're trying to get MGK on the bus too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Jelly Roll is a prime example of just being kind and just being an absolute
100%.
Bro, it's like, again, dude, and again, you go, it's not tough to fucking be like, when people go, I can't believe you do all this shit and you're so like, like he's so nice. Like, yeah, dude, because he was that way before, and he's just now like, yeah, I get to do more shit, and and then you have more people to help you balance it out. But like, he treats everybody so kind, all his staff and everybody. And we went to, I was in Austin, so I went to the last Kill Tony, and then had to go to Atlanta on a Thursday, and he was in San Antonio on Wednesday. So went down to see a show. I'd never seen his live show. Just rips. And we're back there after smoking dabs, which I have done maybe twice. And bro, it was like, I wish I had the video to pull up, but it was like, I'm good with weed. Dabs are fucking, and he's just hitting them like it's breakfast, dude.
Like it's breakfast.
Yeah, and just not even affecting him. Like, but great pipes. His new album drops in, I think, like a week or so.
It drops on Friday.
This week.
Friday. So if you're listening to this episode now, Jelly Roll's album is out right now.
Oh, go get it. He sent me a sneak peek. It's fire.
There you go.
It's unbelievable, dude. Yeah.
He's one of a kind.
He is all time. I had a couple of high school buddies that I asked them for tickets to their show, and he hooked it up. Like, not just, I was like, bro, you can get him nosebleed seats, truly. Like, you can get him some on the outside, like just a couple tickets.
Bro,
he hooks them all up, gets them backstage. They're smoking with him. And my boys are so hyped. Like, bro, Jelly Roll's the coolest dude of all time. And I'm just thinking to myself,
dude.
like, he really is.
Is there anything
He's just the nicest
made you look
dude.
so fucking cool to your buds? I can't believe it.
Is there anything more
dude.
uncomfortable than hit one of your boys up about your like boys from back home? Be like, hey, could they get tickets to X, Y, and Z? I feel like every time you have to ask for it, it's uncomfortable.
Well, I have friends that have. I have certain friends that I'm like, dude, that will still pay, and then I get mad and I go, dude, I told you, you've got, and they've gotten free tickets from the whole time I've ever been, 17 years or I guess 11 years of headlining, but never paid. And then I've got friends who have they've just always been like, nah, man, I'm support, man. This is your shit, and like good friends, and I can't stop them because they buy them before, and because I'm usually like a couple days out, being like, oh, you gonna come? And they're like, already got tickets, and I'm like, you got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because it's.
Or they don't talk to you at all and you just see them in the crowd.
Well, yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, that'll happen too. But then there's people that like, and I have if it's a deep cut from high school or somebody I haven't talked to and they send a nice message and they're like, we want to come see you. And, now I guess with like, with the shows being sold this weekend, I just ran into some people at the airport, and they were like, "Oh man, I can't believe we're fucking seeing you here, man! And we're either gonna come see you or see this band on Thursday." And I go, "Well, I'll make it easy for you. The show's sold out." And they're like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "But I'll get you tickets if you want to go, because you always got a few comps, that they can squeeze in." And so they're gonna come to the show. But friends that are like deep cut that I haven't talked to, getting them to my show, I'm usually always pretty much happy to oblige. But, there's a buddy of mine that's in, do you know who the New Kids on the Block are? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a boy band from the 90s. They kind of started the boy band, I guess you could go back to the Beatles, but they were in the 90s, like the first fucking, Teen Bob Dolls fucking, yeah, dude. These guys, they paved the way for NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, all that shit in the 90s, and all from Boston. Donnie Wahlberg, that's Mark Wahlberg's brother on the far second from the left. And my buddy Joey McIntyre, who's in the to the right of the guy in the blue, was in this movie The Heat with me with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, and so I got to know him real well. And so all girls that are like in their 30s and 40s are obsessed with these guys because they were kids when they came up, And so once I started kind of doing stuff with them, and then I'd open for them on some shows, and then then their fans were just rabid, would kind of jump on you. And then Joey did a curb style show where I played his manager, and so then when people knew I was friends with them, I'd have all these buddies of mine hit me up for tickets for their wives, and people that like I not even like haven't talked to you in 10 years. We were at school together,
Yeah.
That are just like, but then they hit with like a long like, dude, congrats on everything, man. You're really going for it, dude. I always knew you would. I'm like, I think you called me the homophobic slur for with an F when I quit football to play Danny Zuko in Greece. But like, good to hear from you, Josh. You know, and there it is.
Shout out, Josh.
So sophomore year of high school, I was gonna start varsity as a sophomore. Was sophomore captain because the offensive lineman. Bro, I'm just trying to fill out the story for you.
Yeah, no, nice flex. It's solid.
But I was fucking lived. I was doing all the shit, and and football was fun, but it was not. I knew I was not at 6'1" and a Jew gonna go pro, and so and then the play came along, and I was like, oh, that always was fun. And basketball was kind of my more sport anyway. And but the offensive lineman above me got injured, so the coach is like, dude, you're sophomore captain and you're starting varsity because you fucking. And I was just like anything, man. I just was all in, you know, all the camps and the fucking weight. I was just all in for football, and because you don't want to half-ass it. And then I had to go in and tell him basically, I was like, I think I'm gonna quit and do the play because the plays were a big deal in our community. Always went for field trips as a kid, and it just seemed like fun, and I just like really wanted to do it, and I never. And the guy who was directing it was like, you know, we're doing Grease, and I think you would be a great Danny. I can't say you're going to get it, but like, and it was the lead in the play, and I'd done the play the year prior, and it was just kind of a random ensemble part. And the only other guy I was running up against was this Korean dude named Danny Park. And I'm like, not that Danny Zuko, you know, Travolta couldn't be a Korean guy, but, you know, I feel like I got a pretty good shot. And so I went in and told the coach, I go, my mom's like, you got to just tell him. And she goes, what do you want to do? I go, well, if I feel like I played football, I'd be playing to please the coach and not because I wanted to. And she goes, well, there's your answer. Like, you know, you shouldn't do anything because you don't want, like, to make somebody else happy. This is your life. And sound single mom advice. And then I go in there and I go, coach, I try to make a joke out of it. I go, I'm not going to be able to play football this year because I can't memorize the playbook. I got to memorize the lyrics to Grease Lightning. And he goes, get the fuck out of my office. And I go, cool, great talk. Thanks a lot, man. And he goes, come back in 2 weeks and tell me the right answer. And so I sit on it for 2 weeks. It doesn't even let me out on that. And I fucking go back and forth and finally go in and tell him. And then he just fucking didn't say anything. And I just like kind of like fucking like awkwardly roboted out of his fucking office or whatever. Yeah. And then he ended up coming to the Sunday matinee with his kids. And I'm in full fucking, you know, makeup and the leather jacket. And he goes, well, you didn't suck. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like,
the best compliment you can give a coach.
You know?
Yeah.
Coach. That's where I like girls.
Good luck on Friday.
God,
and,
nothing worse than telling a coach no.
Bro, it totally. And he was a basketball coach too, which I still then played. So then he would give it to me. Like if I fucked up a play, he'd be like, sorry, I don't have a script for this fucking play, Adam Ray. You know, like, let's go, Zuko. You fucking, you know, I do everything, you know, but, you know, I take it. But what was I saying to that? What were we talking about before that?
Short-term memory. You gotta stop smoking weed. It's gone.
Fuck, dude. This is
it. That's the moment. You're out.
Caught up to him.
That's done.
What else you guys got up there? Are these all the questions?
Tier talk. Do you feel like you're more of a best? Should we go best Halloween decorations, best pies, best soups?
Tier talk is this. We
best
basically
soups is great.
Okay, best soups.
Well, no, real quick. I want to do a traveling reality show with a buddy of mine, finding the best soups in America. Almost like what do we call it? Soup chasers. Almost like tornado chasers, but because there's a list. There's a website we found with like the top 50 soups at the places, and we're basically going around to find those things. We don't know. We have like 6 different versions of the show. If it's a competition thing where you take people like the people with the best chowder, the best tomato bisque, the best lobster bisque, and put them against each other, or if you're just it's a travel show and you go to the place where the people have, you know, like a man versus food thing. They have this challenge. You go to the people where they have the best fucking minestrone, and you go there, you see how they make it, and then you tour the town. Maybe you set up a stand-up show there at the end of the episode. Whatever. Love soups. Favorite soup. Got to be my mom's matzo ball.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
There's some parameters on this now.
Yeah, this is tier talk. This is a whole section
Love
here.
it.
So you're going to start at 3. You're if you have more than 3 and you want to give an honorable mention, you're more than welcome to. You're going to start at 3, paint us a picture of why you love that soup, that dish. Then go 2, and then obviously the last one will be your number 1. Make it suspenseful though, and you don't have to go first.
Will, please.
No,
I'll go
Sherm.
first.
Taylor.
I'll go first.
Huh? 2 what?
To list the soups.
Now here's a question, real quick.
Thanks, Sherm.
Does chili and chowder count as soup?
Chili is chowder's a soup.
Okay, that's all I really.
Chili's not a soup.
Okay, then maybe I'm not ready. Because chili was going to be in there.
You know what? To me, it's not a soup because the consistency is too thick.
All right, fair enough.
But it is. It does have soupy qualities.
Yeah, it's soupy, soup-esque.
Soup-esque. I'll give it to you. It's your show. It's your bus.
All right, so let's just take a moment so I can just think for a second. Whether chili is a soup is okay. Okay.
Take your time. Sound it out.
Go ahead.
All right.
We should take a few minutes.
My tier 3. is going to be chili. And I know it has to do with consistency based on what Sherm just put up on the Google there. But chili is one of those things that if it's at a backyard barbecue, it just amplifies everything.
Takes everything up a notch.
It takes everything up a notch. Now that stale bread, those stale even hot dog buns now have a taste. And you're going to take one of those buns, you're going to dip it in that chili because you're going to really, truly enjoy it. So many different varieties and ways to make it. I like my chili spicy. I like my nose to run a little bit with my chili.
Wow.
That's how I like my chili. My tier 2 is going to be lobster bisque. There's a place called the Chop House in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It has the best lobster bisque I've ever had in my life. It has a caramel scent to it, a caramel touch to it.
Wow.
You're like, am I having dessert before my entree?
Wow.
When really you're just having some lobster bisque, and it's incredible. My tier 1, my God tier, is clam chowder. I think clam chowder.
That was my nickname in middle school.
There's so many ways to eat clam chowder. You can have it with just salt and pepper. You can throw some Tabasco sauce in there. If you're crazy, put some crackers in there. Have a little bit of texture. Hey, you know what's even more wild? You can even have a bread bowl, and in the bread bowl have some clam chowder in there. Best clam chowder I've ever had in my life. Also was in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Wow.
Second place, San Francisco, but at the hotel we used to stay at, it's now called the Graduate. They had a clam chowder. They had a recipe for like 50 years that only the football players could have. And they would have pictures Friday nights before games. And we had one guy, Elliot Mueller, who's an aspiring comedian, actually. He would just only eat the chowder for his pre-game meal or his night before meal. And it was that good. And that is my tier talk.
Wow, dude.
How amazing is that?
The bread bowl is phenomenal.
Game fucking changer.
Yeah, dude.
It really is.
And you can't put any soup in a bread bowl.
Huh?
And I've always said that.
You can't put a soup in a bread bowl?
You can't put any soup in a bread bowl.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's like a tomato. All right, I'll give you my
It's a beef
tiers.
and cheddar. Hold on. So once tier talk is over,
Yeah.
we all go around the room and everyone gives one word to describe how they feel about the other individual's tier talk.
Oh, great.
Yum, 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 yum.
All right. Jack? Adam, we're going to end with you.
Warm.
Great.
Hey.
Soupy.
That was a special breakdown, dude. That was. I now want to have that lobster bisque.
It's incredible. Ann Arbor.
You're saying the caramel touch on top. Caramel touch. There's a
caramel note.
Caramel note. Ooh. What do you think you're more prestigious about, your soups or your wines?
By far my soups. I'm not a wine guy.
Well, not with that attitude.
No,
but yeah,
not
you
at all.
gotta
Been to
believe in
Napa.
yourself.
I've been to Napa. I've done it. It's not.
It's not for you.
me.
You're not this guy.
No.
You're not the. It's got some wheat thins. It's got some.
I
Fruit
like
of
to
the
play
Loom.
that game for a moment, but truly, the taste of wine to me does nothing for me.
No, you're a hard A guy. Hard alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I was, tequila is my number.
No, he's
one.
a hard R guy.
Yeah. Oh, funny, Will. Funny, dude. That's tonight's
me.
Doritos joke of the night.
That's me and my wife in Napa, actually.
Let's go. You guys are adorable.
Thank you. Yeah. From Canada.
Does she like the stash?
She loves it.
Loves it. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, she loves it.
Because it is, I feel like you without the stash, I've only known you with it. So I don't think, was Sherman about to fucking Photoshop that out? Oh, no.
Are you about to take that off?
She's from Canada. What part?
British Columbia.
Awesome, dude.
Right above
Good person.
Washington.
Right above, dude. That's a good part of the woods.
She's actually mentioned Washington as a place that we might live someday. And I said, there's no chance because I would just live in Kelowna. Have a part-time place there.
Yeah. Do you guys love it here?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it here.
I've really grown to love Four Seasons. Being in Arizona, I used to think Four Seasons.
Hey, Taylor is becoming a Four Seasons guy.
Yeah,
You told me
I've
in the
grown
car
to
the
love
other
it.
day.
I actually, I tell you that a couple days ago, right?
Yep.
And there's something exciting about so this weekend it was like 82 degrees.
Bro, it's
the last 2 days has been like 74, 75.
I
And
love.
that is something that you're like, bro, it juices you the fuck up.
And then November you'll get like 50s, 40s,
Yeah.
right? But not crazy. No, your winters get a little wild. Don't
No,
they?
not here.
Okay.
You'll get like a 3-week cold snap where it's just insane. The whole town shuts down.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 inches of snow.
That's fine. That's also awesome.
Yeah.
If you haven't
it's
been around
fun.
snow,
It's
yeah.
a fun time. I hate the snow. I will say that.
Do ya?
I'll stand 10 toes on that.
But you love hazelnut coffee.
It was a mistake. Okay, I made a mistake. All right, Adam.
Well, I thought you said you were a mistake.
I was.
Yeah, but-
I actually
let's
was.
talk about it because everyone's made a mistake. Only some have been a mistake. Okay, and I talk about that in my book, Chapter 5. An abortion baby can still have a dream. All right. Let's go French onion soup. I was in Prague.
Nice.
I went to Prague. I was studying abroad in London. My mom came out. We went to like Poland. We visited the concentration camps. I was like, fucking, what can we go to a museum instead? It was wild. But we went to this restaurant and Martha Stewart tried to buy their French onion soup recipe. And that was, they were like, hard pass, suck a dick, but we're going to tell people that you tried to do that. And they put it on the menu. And like they tell you, and you're looking and you're like, what the fuck? And the guy's like, yep. And they told me that exact story. And I'm like, well, then I fucking gotta have it. And it was unreal, dude. Had that perfect layer of caked cheese just fucking hovering above, right? You push the spoon through, breaks right immediately, dude. The first bite, appropriately piping hot, not burning your tongue, right? Some people were like, dude, I want the soup to fucking burn the herpes off. No, man, I want it to just kind of soothe, like just immediately make me feel comfy about where I am in my life. And that's what that first bite of French onion soup did. And then Martha Stewart comes out the back and gives you a little back rub. And then she's like, psych, I actually work here, bitch. And then I don't do a Martha. And so so that's my top, that's my bottom. That's my top.
Tier 3.
Tier 3. Dude, the Chowder Bread Bowl is I remember where was University of Washington football games when I would go in high school. What'd they do to you?
Michigan just lost to them.
Yeah.
But go on. Not about me. It's your show.
You could get bread bowls.
That is crazy that they beat you guys.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Hey, you're a piece of shit for that.
Wait, what team was that? What UW team was that?
The one that played last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's a sports fan? Not you.
Not a college football fan as much when I left SC. It dropped.
Really?
Yeah. I went from.
Do you know who won the national championship last year?
Yeah, I went to it. Michigan.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I become friends with Harbaugh now.
He's the man.
He is the fucking man, dude. Pull up Harbaugh and Dr. Phil. There's a picture of us. He came to a Dr. Phil live show, dude.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, dude. And I was gonna pull him up. There he is, right there. I was gonna pull him up on stage,
I bet
dude.
he loved it.
Oh, he loved it.
Middle finger is so funny, just as Dr. Phil.
Bro, isn't it wild? And we now have like merch with all that shit. It's just fucking. I should have brought you guys some shit.
Yeah,
actually,
we
well, if you're around, I'll send you guys some shit. But he, my buddy Jaleel White, who played Urkel, his wife is tied to the Chargers, and so he was at the wedding, and we just started shooting the shit. And I was like, he gave an impromptu speech where he was kind of like, "You gotta fucking grab marriage by the balls and fucking go," and was so funny. And I went up to him, I was like, "Bro, that was unbelievable." He's like, "Oh, thanks, man." Well, and he's like, he's a little, just a big kid, and
so intense.
And I go, dude, I'm giving you just the comedic praise. And he's like, "Oh, you a comedian?" I go, "Oh yeah." But that's what I'm saying. I was watching through the eyes of a professional funny, and you ripped it. And then we started chatting, and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to come to a show." And so then we start texting, and I was like, "Hey man, before you come to a regular stand-up show, which you can see anytime, I got these Phil shows that like would really." And so he came with the offensive coordinator for Greg, used to be at the Ravens.
Roman?
Yeah. And they brought their wives, and he had a fucking blast, dude.
That's awesome.
And I was gonna call him up and do something with him, but I was like, just let him enjoy the show, whatever.
Yeah.
But I went to that game because I met the trainer for the UW Huskies a few years back, and my best friend was going to the game and couldn't get tickets. They like waited too long. And I hit up this trainer. I was like, "Bro, do you have any way to..." I was basically on the sidelines for a Seahawks game with Schneider. The trainer comes up and goes, "We'll be right back," right? This guy named Ashwin. I go, "What's up, man?" He was like, "Oh, I love the Phil stuff, man." I was like, "What do you do?" "Oh, I was a trainer for the Seahawks and now UW for the last 25, 30 years. I go, "Get the fuck out of here."
That's awesome.
He starts telling me unbelievable stories. That's why I tell you, when I knew about the Hawks being injured for that Super Bowl, he went down the list. I was like, "Man, wait, so," I go, "Were you there in AZ?" I immediately went to that. Was like, "What was it like from your vantage point?" He was like, "Oh, God," he's like, "Let's talk about your parents' divorce next," And then it's my mom, stepdad, and Dirte on the right, never smiles, dude. Just fucking one smile, dude. The amount of cool shit I've fucking given you, just fucking one smile, dude. Just break the fucking, give me one dimple, you fucking ungrateful piece of shit. No, I love him, dude. And so he gets us tickets to the fucking championship game. Let me just say this, dude. First of all, college football fan, yeah. Growing up, went to UW games all the time in high school. Went to SC, obviously like wild. And for about 5-6 years after, was stuck in college football. And never really a loose pro fan. And then, Pete came up to Seattle, and it was like that kind of got me reinvested.
Mm-hmm.
The homegrown Seahawks I was all about. You know, when we lost the Super Bowl in 205 to the Steelers on some bullshit calls. But I just lost my college fandom because I just went like all pro, you know?
Yeah.
But the national championship was wild. I've never seen a sporting event like that in my entire life. It was at the Houston Dome, whatever that is.
Yeah.
100,000+. Loud the whole time, dude. And Penix, you know, a couple bad throws, man, and like.
Yeah.
I mean, they played a hell of a. Michigan just fucking played a hell of a game. They were the best team, right?
Yeah.
But UW was there for a reason, man.
That was a trying time for Bussin with the boys because that was Will and I were kind of enemies at that point. We did a stream and Will only wanted Michigan to lose.
No, why?
Bad friend.
Bad friend.
There's some
Bad friend, and I was being a little nasty about my fandom. A little nasty.
So they lost last weekend.
I've been humbled. There's no doubt about it, in a big way. So tier 2
Chowder
is
Bowls.
Chowder Bowls.
Because at UW games, Heck Edmondson, the Husky Stadium, just outdoors. Again, cold with a Chowder Bowl. Seattle, fall. Just seeing your breath when you breathe, doing the fucking as a kid, doing a fake fucking do the dishes, bitch, right? Whatever you're saying, some cool old guy with a cigarette catchphrase. Chowder Bowls outside, just the contrast of hot and cold. Give it to me all day. It's like when you hop into the hot tub. Right. Out of the snow, you get that fucking like same thing with the Chowder Bowl outside. Can't get any better. That's hovering into tier 1 is the Chowder Bowl outdoors at a college football game. Tier 1, dude. Mama Ray, Puddin'. My mom Puddin'. Her real name's Carolyn. My grandpa gave her the nickname Puddin'. I did a really dumb joke when she first married my stepdad. His name is George Cox. I would go fucking, now my mom is Puddin' Cox. I go, I'm glad that his last name wasn't Cox in the butt, It's got way more laughs here than it got that open mic fucking circa 12 years ago, whenever they got married there. She came out in the beginning of my special. She's going to be in another thing coming up. The fucking goat. My mom's a goat. And so she makes a matzo ball soup that'll fucking, talk about coming in your pants, dude. Take away that first HJ over the pants, dude.
That was it?
I mean.
Better than any Halloween night grind.
She makes her matzo ball soup on Halloween.
Matzo ball?
What's that?
What's it called?
Just matzo ball.
Matzo
ball soup. And so this is another Passover treat. It's just a fluffy, the soup is just, veggies, chicken, salty, and then the big fluffy, almost like a bread ball,
Okay.
You guys would fucking love it. There's nothing Jewy about it other than it's just it's a Jew soup, which is a great band name. And it's also, Sherma, if you can play the bass clarinet, you're hired. And so let's go. And it's just any time of year. So on Halloween, my mom, they live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of kids and stuff. And so she and my stepdad get dressed up. The kids, my nephew and nieces now come over to help hand out candy. They fucking love it. And she makes a fucking big thing of soup. Kids come over, they hang. It's like it's a seasonal soup, even though it's only, there'll be times where I'll go home and I'm like,
she knows what you want.
Yeah. And she's already made it or I'm just like, can you, there's the fucking, dude. Look at that guy. Propositioned by 2 Australian women and 1 Filipino man.
Decent. Never had the top one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not necessarily a French onion guy. I apologize.
It's great to meet you guys.
Decent.
Okay, decent. Yeah. Wow. Not a French. Okay, so the Chowder Bowl you can fuck with.
Love the Chowder Bowl. Love
I feel like that's a quick way to
getting me
anybody's
going.
heart. Yeah. I was just trying to mix it up with the other two, but I take it. The matzo ball soup you haven't had. You can't knock it.
Never had it. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
She had a bowl of it on me.
My word is optimistic. I love your first 2. I haven't tried the matzo ball, but the way you talk about your mom making you come,
have to have Mama Ray fucking send a bucket down here for you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Or maybe next time you guys are in Seattle, maybe if I'm up there, we do a live bussin' or something somewhere.
Yeah. And just eat
cool.
soup.
Bring her out and feed it to you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully this episode pops off where people in the chat are just like, dude, you guys got to do that. We'll come out. And then everyone will go, and then we'll close the show by you guys being like, and then we'll be like, decent. And fucking Sherm will go, right in the back. Whatever the fuck he did in his pants a couple minutes ago, right? That's how we close the episode. And then Pete Carroll comes out and goes, I actually like the soup. Everyone goes, we thought fucking go give Reggie Bush an Escalade. Whatever, he's a great guy.
What's your word in the back, Sherm?
Yeah.
Shalom.
Ooh, somebody just Googled Jewish catchphrases.
He is on you.
Shalom. Dude, even the way he said that, like somebody was like, oh, really? You've been to a bar mitzvah? Sherman was like, yeah, man. Shalom.
Hey, Sherman, you're doing the twisted question.
Yeah.
You got to read the twisted question.
Solid.
Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
Mitch ain't want no smoke.
Nostalgic.
Good one.
Good one, yeah.
All right, Will. Just came in at him. Now you got to go.
Now
we reaching the end?
It's over.
No, he's gonna do his, and then we'll do Twisted Tea, and then you can.
Yeah, no, we're all
let you
set,
go.
Will. Yeah, I'm optimistic that it's not going to be that great. No. Go ahead. What do you got, baby? Close us out.
Honorable mention: vegetable soup.
Ooh,
just your classic vegetable soup. I love to dip peanut butter sandwiches in it, and remember that because there's a tier 1 coming here.
What was the orphanage that you grew up in?
Sandusky's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa, funny. You're quicker than I thought you'd be. Wait.
My tier 3.
Vegetable soup is
my tier 3.
Wait, vegetables are tier 3.
That's an honorable mention. Doesn't make the cut. Just an honorable mention.
Oh, I didn't know we got that.
Well, I told you I said it out loud.
I'd love to give a shout out to Emilio Estevez for his role in Mighty Ducks 2 and 3. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
If we're going to fucking give out some free shout outs, let me know, dude.
My tier 3 is broccoli cheddar soup.
Ooh.
Specifically from Potbelly's. Had it over the weekend. Very good dippable soup. I'm a big dip guy. Fuck. My tier 2 is going to be a creamy, dreamy lobster bisque. You have all the perfect words for it. My tier 1, near and dear to my heart, is chili. Chili is one of my favorite meals because I love dipping peanut butter sandwiches in chili. Do you really?
Yeah, dude.
Hang on. Are you setting me up right now? Or are you being fucking serious?
If I was a guest, can I keep telling my story?
Yeah.
No, I'm not setting you up. My mom, another soup, tomato soup she'd make, and fucking PB&Js, dude, all day. I would come home from football practice and either slam, dude, when your metabolism is just through the roof, right? I'd slam either 7 double-deckers, right, from a 2-a-day summer practice, right?
Yeah.
So you've burned everything, and puked everything. 7 double-deckers or 2 PB&Js, so 4, and dip them all in the soups. And dude, I mean, I'm salivating thinking of it. I'm doing it I'm doing a Sherm right now, dude. I'm getting so excited just thinking about dipping, dude. I knew we were homies. Dipping the soup is the move.
Yes,
you
bro.
have to, and broccoli cheddar might be the best for that.
Yeah.
But
I do love it.
Yeah.
Try dipping a peanut butter sandwich in chili. You will really like.
Don't tell me how to live my life, but I'll think about it. Yeah, for sure.
You will really like what you taste.
Okay.
Big Missouri thing. Every Thursday in the cafeteria would be chili day, and you'd have peanut butter sandwiches.
Wow, dude.
Mixed with some honey. The peanut butter mixed with some honey.
I'm always there for that.
Incredible.
Wow.
Mouth is salivating.
Let me ask you this: is this tier thing? This is a thing you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But soup, we stumbled on that.
Yeah.
Or was that a pre-planned
No,
bit?
it was just like, hey, these are the 3 options.
Yeah.
So this is going to get me back to my thing about the soup show, which, again, there's not enough time in the day for me to like do everything I want to do. But it is definitely like if you were to come to me and go, hey, we got all this money. What do you want to make right now? Like show-wise, that would be in the top 3 of things I'd go like the Soup Chaser show.
Is there
and listen to this
we
conversation.
got to get you to Bon Terre, Missouri for the chili and peanut butter. I just throwing it out there. No bad ideas in the brainstorm.
But just the fact that this is giving me even more juice to the idea because of the fact that like we're all taking our time with this, and it's like everyone has a soup connection.
People love soup,
and it's
everyone's had it. Everyone loves
you're
it.
doing the VO for the show. It's a big drone shot of fucking the States, and and we cut it on Taylor, and he just goes and he rips his stash off and goes, "People love soup."
Boom, and then it goes into an action-packed sequence of you guys dipping peanut butter jelly or peanut butter sandwiches,
dude. We're
in
dipping
chili.
whatever. We're fucking popping Lucy's, yeah dude.
Pants stains.
Yes,
people just getting excited.
You know what they do in Nebraska? Cinnamon rolls in chili.
Well, that makes no sense to anybody.
Makes none, but for your show, like chasing around,
yeah,
going
no,
to pick
that'd be
the right
fun.
spots.
See this, yeah, and you want that. You want that element of like, dude, how fat can we get?
You're right.
Nebraska makes a great corn chowder.
Another one. Put it on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's AI. I thought you were about to be like, dude, it already exists. Sorry.
Like, these motherfuckers.
Bro, I literally, my heart dropped, dude.
Hey, you better make that show quick. Someone's going to steal that after this episode. You got to get on this.
Yeah, I got to patent it or something, right?
We know he's got it though. He's already been talking about it on the show.
Yeah, it's already. There's draft. I mean, right? If we could go back and sue, but that sucks. You don't want to be the fucking Winklevoss twins. You want to be Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
yes.
You don't want to be Army Hammer eating fucking women for breakfast. Wild, dude.
Hey, delicious.
Oh yeah, the words.
Oh, I mean, you said creamy, dreamy. thought you were talking about. Let's see. I'm gonna do a good word.
We'll come back to you. Sherm. What you think?
Yum.
We've already. Sorry, Sherm. We've already used yum. Thanks, Sherm. Fuck.
Dipping.
We come to find Sherm knows 5 words.
2 of them are sounds.
Yum.
Taylor, he goes,
shum.
Savory.
Savory and delicious are good. So I got to do a different adjective that also expresses my
take your time, man.
appreciation, which I could do for that breakdown. Appropriate came to mind, but that sounds like a fucking like a gym teacher that's like, look.
And the longer you wait, too, the
you
more
can stare at a woman's titties. So, by the way, I'm the PE teacher and the health teacher, Mr. Supplin. That was the name of our guy. Definitely would like there would be young girls in the class, and he'd be like, "Look, some of you guys are getting pregnant. That's just how it goes. I'm looking at a few of you. I can see it might already be happening. Or okay, maybe you're just fat. So, but anyway, we're going. You know what, man? Perfect.
Wow.
Because I hadn't even considered or remembered how much involvement the sandwich and the soup, how much time they actually spend together, how much they need each other.
Yeah.
And how much the dipping the sandwich was a part of my childhood.
Yeah.
So that was I just start crying. That was and I don't know, man. My mom would make this matzo soup. You can have it. You can have my mom. You can fuck my mom shit. But dude, yeah, the dip. Don't underestimate the sandwich dip, dude.
Yeah.
Even this kid. This is just a piece of fucking naan bread, dude. That's not the move. Is that an AI? Sherm, did you AI sandwich dip and that's what you came up with?
I sure did.
I sure did.
Dude, this is why you can't always trust technology, man.
Can't do it.
You couldn't find me a fat Smucker's jelly kid with a fucking PB&J halfway down. Minestrone, by the way,
Get his ass, Sherm.
Minestrone is honorable mention.
Shout out Minestrone.
Shout out Minestrone.
I want to see what Sherman cooks up here.
I'm excited for
Fat
Sherman
Smucker's jelly kid dipping a PB&J.
Before this comes up, your guys' relationship has taken so many different twists and turns just in this tier talk.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
You got closer.
Appreciate it, dude. Because it was turbulent for a moment.
Yeah. But that's how you get to know
Found
your
some
bros,
smooth air.
man.
No
You
doubt.
start ball busting a little bit.
You have to, dude. Got to hit him and hug him.
Yeah.
Hit him and hug him. Internet not doing well.
I'm so excited for Sherm to read his twisted question, too.
Yeah.
Is that how you close it? Look at this.
There
There
we
we go.
Soup chasers.
Smucker's jelly. It's like, wait, is it ice cream? The kid's dipping. What the fuck? Wait, so this fat piece of shit has soup and a sandwich and then just a pint of Smucker's jelly ice cream next to him, just in case I want to wash down my soup. I mean, this kid, not too off from what I look like.
Yeah, it sounds like 4th grade you right there.
Yeah, this
That's
is
what it
me,
looks like. Just imagine that kid in a bird costume.
Oh, bro. Actually, getting kids to be on soup, like maybe a kid sidekick or like that kid assistant. Look at that kid dressed like a falcon. What is that? Some sort of centaur? What is that? A Harry Potter?
It's like a mythological owl.
Mythological owl.
Sure, and bring up the ad read for Twisted. So I gotta hear him. I gotta hear him get to this.
Let's talk about.
Who do you guys are sponsored by? You got some. Well, I won't say it.
What do you think? Let me ask you a question. What do you think Twisted Question is sponsored by?
Well, Twisted Tea, but I heard a Mountain Dew ad in there. I think with your Joe Gatto episode.
Oh, you listened.
Yeah. Joe, I love Joe, and also I'm a fan of the show, man.
And you
being
love
able to
tea.
get paid to say "do the do" is a special moment,
bro.
But,
I wanted to bring that up. That's wild to me. I mean, I fucking
it was the soda
as a kid.
Yes,
and also I don't know, they're so cool.
It is, yeah.
Do the do like once they got involved with their commercials have always been. I mean, they fucked with Westbrook for who else did they have? They had some pretty cool athletes that were really doing some cool Dew commercials.
Right. I think Shaun White was a Mountain Dew guy, wasn't he?
Dude, also the whole Baja Blast shit, them making their way to the top. Dude, once you break the Taco Bell seal and you're in, dude.
Yes.
And I don't know,
that's
man.
a Taco Bell staple. The
Dude,
Baja
Taco
Blast.
Bell has like the Mountain Dew Gordita. I mean, it's like, Cena, come on, man. Does no wrong. Anyway, congrats on that.
Wrong. Yeah. Mountain Dew is sick, but also, what else is sick, Sherman?
Twisted Tea.
Thank you, sir.
Twisted Tea.
Thank you, sir. Twisted Tea is refreshing hard iced tea made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol, full of flavor and very refreshing. Twisted Tea Twisted Tea goes down smooth. There is no carbonation. It makes it easy to drink all day long. Twisted Tea feels fun and celebrates extreme fandom on game day. It is the perfect alcohol/beverage for a game day, whether tailgating in a parking lot, watching at a bar, or watching with friends at home. Twisted Tea is there to turn up your game day. Keep it twisted. Grab a refreshing Twisted Tea today.
Maybe you're gonna go out to the voting booth. Maybe you're gonna go vote for America. You want to pick a prize. You got Kamala Harris.
I'm working at a McDonald's, and I was at the first McDonald's. I went to every McDonald's. You weren't there, bitch.
That's because she was at home drinking a twisted tea. A twisted tea. A twisted me. Twisted me. I'm a pretzel. Twist me up. Put me in a Four Loko. Put down the Four Loko. Pick up a twisted tea. Twist me up. Do the Macarena. Hokey pokey. Say your own name when you come. Twisted Tea. Your dad might have left, but they'll be there for you.
All right, what's the question?
They'll love that. Sherm.
Sure, read the question. Usually Mitch reads the
Yeah,
twisted
but based
question.
on your guys' rapport, this has to come from Sherm.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Phil could answer this. Biden could answer this. The year is 117 AD. It's the height of the Roman Empire. You are in command of an army of lizard people on the island of Crete. What is your strategy for overthrowing the established power that is the imperial tyrant of Rome?
Well, first of all, what a fucking psycho question, Sherm. You get this off the back of one of your Magic the Gathering circle jerks. Well, look, Twisted Tea's been around for a while, and I like to suck down a nice tea. It's got to be twisted. I don't like those normal adjusted teas. But look, lizard people have a place too. Just like when you go to the strip club and you meet one of those dancers with one leg and you go, "What's your name?" And she says Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And you go, "Is that your birth name or your stripper name?" And by that time, she's already fallen over. And you ask yourself, why did I get here? What led me to getting here? What did I do in my life that got me to here? So Crete is an island. I haven't been to it. Okay, I'll give you the islands I've been to in no particular order. Okay, Hawaii, Epstein, and Joshua Tree. It's not an island, but when you're on enough shrooms, you see water in places it's not. Okay, I once took a dive in a little Mountain Dew Code Red swimming pool. Turned out to be some period blood. So. My strategy for overthrowing the established power that is the imperial tyrant of Rome would probably be to get a big cannon. I'm a big cannon guy. I'll give you my favorite cannons in no particular order. The cannon that was used in Pirates 2, Curse of the Black Pearl, which that was the first time I saw Johnny. My favorite part of that movie is when Johnny Depp goes, And I also love Nick Cannon because nobody fires off more loads than the original Cannon, Nick, okay? And Mariah Carey said it best, sweet, sweet fantasy baby. She was talking about his cock. Now, my strategy would be to get a cannon, fire off one big Nickelodeon load, and just drench them, slime them, right? Remember the slime from back in the day? Remember Slimer? That's how I eat pussy. But I think there's something to be said about doing your best, putting one foot in front of the other, getting to bed early, wake up with the sun, go to bed with the moon, take Dayquil at night, NyQuil during the day. And if you find yourself confused and alone in the shower, shave your head, your back, your pussy, and your crack. We'll be right back. Yeah. Did I answer the question? So I guess C. So C. I do C.
That is... That's the end of the show.
Time.
That's the end of the show. That was
Bro.
incredible.
Good, man.
Anybody who listens to the show, if they're a guest about to come on, they hear the twisted question. Hopefully they don't listen to this one because you're going to be like, how in the
It'll
fuck
be the
do I
most
know
intimidating thing to ever come across again.
Good
You'll be
question.
sweating
man.
the whole time waiting for Mitch or Sherman to rip off a twisted question. Dog, first time meeting you.
Yeah.
Loved every moment of this
Appreciate it,
podcast.
man. Yeah.
It has been amazing.
Yeah, super fun, man.
All time.
You guys know what you're doing, man. Big fans. Thanks for asking me, man. Really honored.
Excited for part 2 already.
Yes.
Dude, yeah. Come back
If-
to film me, whatever.
If you get Soup Chasers going, we demand to be part of the first season.
1,000, dude. You've honestly, it's like, again, dude, it's out of sight, out of mind until you get a little, fuel on the fire. But you guys I'm definitely going to, spend some time today farting this back up. And we got the fucking poster.
That's it right there.
Who's hosting that in the middle? Tony Romo?
Adam
Yeah, we got fuck, dude. I've never tried a Tony Romo before.
That was
we got tomato, we got chicken soup. Yeah. Well, Tony, we've got all sorts of soups. That's my Jim Nance.
Holy fuck. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars. And hey, what are you up to? What do you do the next couple of weeks?
Oh man, I got here at Zany's this week, but I'm on the road. All my stand-up dates are at adamraycomedy.com. I got Cleveland coming up, San Jose, Phoenix, and then we got the Dr. Phil live tour. We hit DC and Philly on October 25th and 26th. And then the Beacon in New York on November 15th, Celebrity Theater in Arizona December 6th, San Diego Civic Theater in San Diego on December 7th, and that one's going to be live stream with Tony Hinchcliffe and Adam Devine and some other special guests. All the Dr. Phil live and stand-up dates are at adamraycomedy.com. My podcast about last night, Dr. Phil live shows on my YouTube, youtube.com/adamraycomedy. I think that's it, man. My mom's soup at my mom's house. Yeah.
Shout out your mom.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here.
Dog.
That was
great.
Literally, when they had that twisted question, I was like, this is.
I know. I was like, man, how is
Did you guys come up with that, or was that like?
That was sure.